All right, I'm looking for a couple of things. Here we go.
There it is.
All right, peace. I don't know, my screen got discombobulated real quick. Let's go ahead and get it kicked off. I'm not sure if we live or not. Hold on, I didn't see the. Okay, I see the notification. All right, here we go. We live.
Been too long. You losing your mojo over there, huh, B?
Nah, it's like it was a crazy delay for some reason. I don't know. There's some kind of delay. It's like 30 seconds, a minute delay. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off, man. I know, hopefully we got it all remedy. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, let me add my LinkedIn. So, some kind of way. All right, I'm adding. Boom. All right. So yeah, all right. We live on my Twitch, my YouTube, and LinkedIn. All right, cool. So now everything's working up and working, man. They add a whole bunch of stuff to this thing and making it more and more complicated. So all right. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210 at Being That Loan, also all social media. Go to the YouTube at Being That Loan also as well. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to my website, www.applywithb.com, if you want to book me for a consultation or get started on a mortgage. You call me 832-775-8357, 24/7, as long as it's about business. And you go to my website, www.brandonbdixon.com, if you want to get a lease, listing, so on and so forth. And then, last but not least, clcinvestmentclub.com if you want to mitigate risk, if you want to get into real estate investing. And Corey, I got you. I think I have you here. Hold on a second. Let me double check.
Yes, Lord.
All right, here we go.
There we go. Corey Smith, broker owner, Commodore Mortgage. Here for all your real estate needs.
Gotcha. But yeah, you were talking about Nexa earlier. Nexa, I got to get caught up. I was on the call earlier, but I got busy with all the calls. They got all kind of stuff going, man. Action Realty. Larry got his own AI going as well with and then he got his AI guy. Me and CJ met with the AI guy. He gave me like 20 different sites to do. So it's
Larry got the cheat code.
Yeah, Larry is a beast on recruiting, man. He could just kick back. He ain't got to originate nothing, so he can sit back on the mission. That's what I say. You get that leverage and work it, man. It's all about working it, all about working it. But shit,
I love to see it.
But as far as clips, man, I think I got a little hodgepodge of everything. I started like last week with it, and just kind of every day I see something when I have a couple of minutes, I'll just throw a couple on there. So I got a little scattered.
Okay.
Scattered shows like kind of a little bit of everything. So without further ado, I don't know how I want to start it. I might just start in sequence. I don't remember which is which, but I'll just go ahead and start in the sequence, man. I don't know what was what. I remember.
That's fine. We'll rock with it.
Yeah, I started like last week, so I don't remember what is what. So let's go ahead and rock it. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and rock it and then roll from there. Rock and roll, man.
Wow. I don't think anybody around
Nobody paints their house that many times.
Shauna says it started shortly after she moved in.
I got a first notification that the side of my house had some fading. And all it said was, I needed to touch up the faded spots. So I did.
Here's video of her son, a contractor, painting her home. Shauna says she sent Trowbridge proof she repainted and thought her issue was resolved.
And then maybe 7 months later, I get I get served.
She got notice of a lawsuit which said, quote, the home appears to have been partially painted. However, the painting of the home was not ever completed. The paint is badly faded on the sides and rear.
I'm calling, nobody returns my call. I email. Probably the fourth email in, I got somebody that replied back and said, oh, we see that you painted the house, but you need to touch up some more.
Says she was involved in a years-long battle with Trowbridge over her home's exterior paint.
To touch up some more things on the driveway.
Shauna says she repainted the rest of the house and notified Trowbridge.
Some more months went by, I didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden I start getting all these letters in the mail that say, hey, let us help you with your foreclosure. And I'm like, what foreclosure? I call my bank, they're like, nope, we don't have anything. And I'm like, what is it? Can't possibly understand. Find out it's the HOA. They had put a lien on my house.
And you didn't know?
I didn't know anything about it.
How many times?
3 times since 2015.
Wow. I don't think anybody around
Nobody
here.
paints their house that many.
Right. I'll let you go ahead and get the first crack at it while I set up the next one.
Man, it's kind of what we talked about on the last podcast, where you have some of these HOAs, you just have people that never had any kind of power, and they just abuse the power that they're actually given. Especially when you have somebody like that that's trying to comply and trying to actually follow the rules, and yet you still, kind of drag her through the mud or something like else. Like this seemed a little bit more personal. This ain't just about the rules of the actual community or whatever. This seemed personal for whatever reason. And I don't know what the ties are, where it goes back to or whatever, but this just doesn't seem like it's normal. And it's unfortunate these situations happen, but when people start to band together and start to sue these HOAs, then now the people that's in power gets moved around and these things don't happen anymore. But she's doing the great thing by, bringing attention to it, bringing public attention to it. Now it should start to grow legs, and something should actually start to be done, and she shouldn't have those problems anymore. But it's not a guarantee.
Right. Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure we live on Twitch. Yeah, we live on Twitch, man. Yeah, everything's a go. But what I was saying is, I don't know all the story. I mean, the thing is, this overall general, so I can't really comment on this particular story. So I don't know all the ins and outs. Again, people play, that falling downstairs, people play victim. So I don't know all the situations. So I don't know it kind of, it makes a good story from the outside looking in, but I don't know the details. So, but overarching, I mean, as far as HOAs, you got to abide by the rules. A lot of times we rush into things. We look at the fruit and don't understand the maintenance or whatever it takes to maintain these fruit, So you a lot of people do that with those new house contracts. They don't really read the fine print. So you got to know what you're getting into before you get into it. Ignorance of the law doesn't omit you from it. So if that is their law, you have the choice to either comply or go somewhere else. So before you got into the house, before you get emotional and this is cute, this is perfect and stuff like that, you got to read all the ins and outs, read the restrictions, the deed restrictions, read the rules of the HOA, and look for the loopholes. Pay a little bit of extra money to actually have, if you don't understand the terms, get somebody to read it for you and warn you, and somebody have your best interests before you hop into something. You can't be overly cautious. It's just proper preparation equals the best performance, right? So I don't. There's a lot of times we skip that part. We don't read the terms and conditions. We just check that box and keep rolling. We're so busy to get to the good part. So with that being said, let's go ahead this next one. I got a few, so I don't know they're highs pies. So
That's fine.
Yeah, let's go. I'm just going the road, man. I'm just going the road. So
well, I just started my cigar,
right,
so I got time.
Huh?
I said I just started my cigar, so I got time. Let's get it.
Gotcha.
Guys, it was at this point they fucked up. That's a whole speaker. Like, that's a whole speaker. I already knew what was about to go down. when I stayed there, I used to have Club Sparrow parties because that's what I called it. But they took it to a whole nother level. Shout out to these YNs because they are definitely future club promoters or something. They had a whole little organized event going on. Like, I'm gonna post another video and show y'all how it was, like the operations was. But this young fella thought he was slick. I mean, of course he couldn't see what I could see, so he thought I couldn't see anything, but I could literally see everything. He telling him go around the back, and I see them tiptoeing. But man, here they come. This is just a piece of the video. When I say it went from 0 to 100 real quick, these people, they know a lot of people. They know how to throw an event. I'm not even gonna hold you, cause we deep as fuck, ho. We deep as fuck, ho. Like, I'm joking about it, but last night I was real deal stressed. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was real deal stressed last night because I'm like, hold up. I know my space. This is too many people. Like, they got to fucking go. They have to go. So I had already put the things in place to like start the process. I had no call them people. I had no call the Airbnb. I had no put everything in place. At this time, they clearing out. Like, they ain't even get the real deal turn up, to be honest. They ain't even really get to turn up. But this is the front camera. This the club let out. This Club Sparrow let out right now. The neighborhood ain't but so big. Look at how many people were there. Oh my God. Like, when I saw this at work, I was like, I need to go on a motherfucking break. I need to go on a break because ain't no way. I had to stop looking at it at this point because I was stressed. Look at all these people. Look at all these people, y'all. Like, they was parking lot pimping at this point. Like, once again, just these guys can put on an event. Wow. So many people were there. Like, to be honest, even afterwards, even after things were already shut down, I see people still circling, pulling up, getting dropped off. There's nothing going on anymore. They're still getting dropped off, okay? And y'all know how it'd be like the club let out or some event let out and it's a traffic jam. Look at this shit. A fucking traffic jam in the neighborhood. I was just like, I never want to be that neighbor. So I'm definitely going to have to put in new implementations or whatever. But they got. All right, you.
I'll let you go in first while I look at the next one.
Man, look, hey, shout out to the host. Cause you know what I'm saying, she took that like a champ, you know what I'm saying? And she was real. I mean, she wasn't stressed by it. I know she said she was stressed by it, but you could tell by the way she was talking, you know what I'm saying? She was more impressed than anything. And hell, I was impressed. It's amazing what we can do, you know what I'm saying, when we just kind of follow the rules type situation. Like there, you know what I'm saying, they know they weren't supposed to have a party, whatever. But if they chose to rent out a club and do that same exact thing, can you imagine how much money they would have made on a consistent basis? So I'm glad she was able to kind of make light of the situation, make, kind of, see the glass half full, if you will. But you know what I'm saying, I was impressed. Like, I know they wasn't supposed to be doing that. I sure hated whatever she told them. She was able to get them to clear out of there ASAP. But that's where, you know what I'm saying, you need to take your talents and then, take it to somewhere where it can actually be useful and make you a bunch of money. Because that wasn't it.
Right. I mean, here we go, man. We be looking past the dysfunction, man. We looking past the dysfunction. Like, man, you can't first of all, you can't do that in a rural neighborhood. Like, so regardless of if it's oppressive or not, you still can't usurp the rules, So this the mastermind, the energy, like, all right, your energy to plot up to do this, it obviously took some energy and you had the motion. Why not take that motion and do it? Your first mind should always be doing it legit. The money that you spend on the Airbnb is not that much difference to rent out a legal space, a commercial space where you can do that type of stuff. So why pin the energy to do it wrong. This doesn't make sense. Like, who then house parties is not the same effect. Like, who goes to house parties? I guess they still go to house parties. We had the same thing happen at our loft. This was like 15 years ago. Like, one of my partners is an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So, his line, he's already graduated, but his line brothers, we rented out our space and they turned up right quick. It turned up like real quick like that. And they, stood on the sofas, punching our leather sofas, getting, with the stilettos, and they tore the place up, you know what I mean? Bombing in the bathroom, and, it turned up real quick. But where we were at was downtown. It was semi-commercial area. It was a law, but, and they got permission to do so. So why... why do it illegally? If you're gonna do it, with permission, or do it where it's permissible at. So, and take that energy and that talent, as far as motion, you got motion to bring people together. Use that for the positive instead of like the negative. Instead of getting away with it, it probably would have been even bigger if you would probably put it in something that had the capacity to take what you were trying to put out. So it probably could have been bigger, and you kind of made more motion out of it and kept the thing rolling now. So now you piss people off. They come in and went all the way there, got dressed, and then they ain't really get to turn up. So now you killing half your motion. So it wasn't well thought out. So I don't get, unless that Airbnb was like profusely cheap. That's the only thing I can see. Why not spend a little bit extra bread and get that club, man? We rented that club for my and the club was probably only like $3,000, man. Like, it wasn't, I had it for like the whole day, like, music and everything.
And the problem because, when you got these cats like this, they barely got a budget for liquor. They ain't got no budget to pay for that $3,000 up front. Now, granted, as many people as they would have had, as they had there, they would have definitely made that back. But the problem becomes, man, I don't want to put that money up front. So, then you end up doing stuff like this.
Sponsors. You got homeboy sponsors. You got, and instead of y'all spending money on y'all fit, you get 10 homeboys together. They put up $300 a piece, and sponsor. And you get to put your banners on your, hey, look, I'm pretty sure 2 of them or 3 of them rap. Hey, we're going to play 2 or 3 of your songs at the, in the mix. You got to get creative legally, man,
Man, look, that's assuming you make an assumption that somebody within that circle has a business mind.
Right.
Not everybody has a business mind inside every single circle. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like all they thinking about is trying to chase tail. Man, can we get it all in one spot so we can get our chances better? That's all we're trying to do.
Obviously, you got the gift of people know you in organization and advertising. So use that. That's what people begs for,
Yep.
Why not even, hey, look, I turn you up. I get with somebody that got the motion, that has the business mind. Look, I'll turn you up. I use my network and turn you up for a fee. And then I could still chase and get a little paper and get a little notoriety all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically anything you do, it got to be about business. You know what I'm saying? Put the business first and then try to do it legally. Don't try to just, I guess it went viral, so I guess but you didn't get no notoriety. People don't know who you are, so that motion is really wasted. So let's go to this next one.
Person lives to be 76 years old. The middle age isn't 50, it's 38. They made you believe retirement starts at 65, so you'd trade your best years for a paycheck. By the time you realize it's a scam, it's too late. Here are some uncomfortable truths the rich know, but you choose to ignore. The system was never built to make you rich. It was built to keep you obedient. Schools don't teach wealth because they need workers, not owners. If you retire at 65, you get 11 years to enjoy life, if you're lucky. The 1% don't work harder than you. They just own the ladder you climb. Your paycheck is hush money to keep you from building your own empire. Banks lend your money to make millions, then give you 1% interest. Your boss makes 10 times what you do because he took one risk that you didn't. The bigger your salary, the bigger your tax bill. The rich don't play that game. The middle class think investing is risky, while the rich think not investing is. Working 40 years for someone else just to die broke isn't normal. It's brainwashing. A 9-to-5 won't make you rich. It just makes you too tired to figure out what will. Living below your means is a trap. Expand your money instead. Government doesn't tax the rich because they own the politicians. Inflation isn't accidental. It's a tool to keep you poor and them rich. You don't need more discipline. You need systems that make success automatic. Social media made you compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. There's no stable job. Only owners have real security. You trade your time for money, then buy junk that steals your time. The public education system trains people to follow rules, not question them. The rich write the rules and they don't write them for you to win. Debt isn't bad. Bad debt is bad. The rich use good debt to get richer. They keep you poor by making luxury look cheap and wealth look hard. You were programmed to think $100,000 a year is a lot. It's not. The more time you spend hating the rich, the more broke you'll stay. The average person lives to be 76 years old.
He went through a lot right there. Back to back to back.
Man, I was talking to somebody earlier, having a conversation with one of my mentees, telling them that same exact line. Like, you know, average age is about 70, 75. So we passed middle age, in the third or fourth quarter right now. So, yeah, you know, we thought that middle age was 50, 55 shit. How many people live to 110? Not many.
Not many.
Yeah, so middle age. We didn't pass middle age, man. The late 30s is at middle age. You know, so this third quarter we came at halftime. The band has marched. You know, the cheerleaders have flipped. Now it's time that last half of that game, man.
Fat lady done sung, huh?
Now, fat lady ain't sung yet. We in the second half. That halftime already. The halftime perform already came out. We had our little fun. Now it's last time to win that game, man. So you know, that's how I look at it. You know,
yeah, I think it's one of those things where you have to look at yourself and look and see if you're on the trajectory that you want to be on. If you're not, then it's never too late to try to change that. A lot of stuff what he said, is a lot to impact, but at the end of the day, you got to get you some financial literacy, period. A lot of people are just kind of marking off of, well, such and such said this, well, such and such said that. They said I'm supposed to do this. They said I'm supposed to do that. Well, have you done the research to understand what you need to do yourself? Have you done the research and understand the pros and cons of all these different avenues, and then decide which one is best for you to go on? Because every avenue is not made for everybody. So the long story short of it is that we all need self-reflection to understand if our life is where we need it to be in the third or fourth quarter. Are we on the trajectory that we need to be to retire when we want to kick back and relax and enjoy life when we want to? And if not, then we need to start trying to figure out now how to make those changes, how to pivot, and then be able to somewhat catch up.
Right. But this dealing with the first thing he said, like I said, numerous things. First thing, a lot of us don't play like we got a shot clock. Like that shot clock is ticking, or that time is ticking. That's one thing that waits for no man. A lot of people think we got unlimited time. I hear numerous people, man, this killing time. Wow. Killing time. You know, so that's never a good thing. You know? So you don't have a lot of time. A lot of times you're gonna wish you had that time back, man. Make every snap of the ball, every swing of the bat, every layup and free throw should count, you know. So that's why I don't play around. Like, you know, you get your rest, cool. Yeah, you're supposed to rest. That's all cool. But play the game while you have breath in your lungs. You know, so play hard. That's what we ain't here to just loaf around. If you want to loaf around, you stay where you at. You know, you come here. You know, so we come here to, you know, to put on, you know, outdo yourself. So you only get one, contrary to both popular belief. You know, so people use that as an excuse to make mistakes, but yeah, YOLO. No, you should use that to execute your master plan. Think about it. Making mistakes that's only setting you back. So use that to as an excuse not to perform well. Skipping around. I mean, he said he unpacked so much stuff. Like I said, yeah. I mean, people don't understand inflation. People don't understand the system. Yeah, it's not taught how to be rich. No, because think about it. If everybody's rich, it's on the dollar as a pyramid. System. In order to be at the top shine, you got to have somebody at the bottom. So if everybody was at the top, then what would be the top at that point? So you got to have somebody clean rooms and garden and lawn care and paint the house and stuff. Everybody can't be a $1 billion CEO. So everybody. I was talking about this with one of my mentees is that most people don't love the game itself. They just want the victory.
It's enjoying the journey.
Not just the win. You got to enjoy every aspect of whatever you in. The good and the bad, because even if it's bad, it's still a lesson. So you got to embrace that too. So that all come with it. That's like a boxer, man. Boxer, you got to like them black eyes too. You got, you got to like, not just when you knock somebody out, because you're gonna get punched. So you got to love the workout of the months and months of training. That's part of it. You just can't let the part when you come out there looking fly with the rapper, and then when you put them hands up, shit, they got a lot more to it. That's just that much of a boxing. It's the contracts, it's the waking up early in the morning, it's the diet, it's the sweating, it's the chopping weight down, it's the press conferences, it's everything. You gotta love every aspect of it, just like a football player or something like that. Every aspect of it, you gotta love it. If not, you're not gonna be successful. You're not gonna be at the top of your game. That's what they say about that boy Travis Hunter. Even though his personal life I don't agree with, but that's all he do is that's what they say in high school. They had film him in high school. That's all he did, play ball and fish. Yep. Because he wanted to be great, at it. So same thing I heard with Wayne when he was small, man. I heard Wayne, that's all he would do was rap. Like, he'll stay quiet for 5 minutes and then, hey, check this out. He got a new rap in his head that he made. And that's why he became one of the greatest, So.
But there's a different philosophy, when you want to be good versus when you want to be great. When you want to be great, you almost become obsessed with whatever it is that you focus on. And in those situations that you name, those guys were obsessed with, being able to go through the process, understand the process, and then finally make it to the goal that they were trying to set for themselves. And which is why, both of those are household names now, just because of the process of what they gone through, what they did. Along the way, there was a bunch of rappers that was with Wayne, but they didn't take the game as serious. They didn't take the process as serious as Wayne did. Yeah, they might have had a couple of jams, couple of cuts that you might recognize or whatever, but they would never get a chance to accomplish what he's accomplishing. They'll never get a chance to sell out an NBA arena, right? So they'll never get a chance to travel worldwide and then be able to sell out. For Travis Hunter, there's a lot of people that's going to never have the opportunity to put on an NFL jersey. There's a lot of people that's not going to have the opportunity to be coached by one of the greats, if not the great. So I think there's different levels to it. Not to say that you have to be obsessed, but you have to be locked into your craft. So some kind of degree.
You have to be obsessed with it. Like it, you got to live and breathe it. And to be at the top of your game. That's what we talked about last week. Like you gotta, everything that come along with it, you gotta immerse yourself in it, and that's what it takes to be great. Like I think this generation too hop around too much. They left foot in, left foot out. They hokey pokey with everything, and then they just trying to stumble upon success. and that's not that doesn't happen. You know, they're trying to do the hot tour, trying to just go viral and something. Oh, I'm on. You know, and that's wrong with this generation. Like it's they got a lot of opportunities. I like the way that they creative on certain aspects, but however, it's this the focus. The only way you could will the rest is luck, or not really luck, or you trying to randomly have events happen. You don't have any control of it. The only way you have control of it is willing something into existence is by every living breath that you have is focused on that particular goal, and that's the only way you can make it happen.
Mm.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I give you example, Muggsy Bogues. You know, Muggsy Bogues what 5'2". You know, so but you can't tell me he wasn't a dog to make it to the NBA.
He had to be.
Had to be, like the odds was against him. You know, so you just can't randomly. I have a dream, and you know, I occasionally dribble the ball, and I occasionally do some pickup games, but that ain't gonna make you to the NBA. You have to be obsessed. You have to be above just because he has the physical attributes. You know.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm saying you have to be obsessed just depending on the level of greatness that you want to get to, a level of success that you want to get to. I think I'm saying if you want to be great, if you want to be Tom Brady, you want to be LeBron James, you want to be one of the greatest, I'm saying, Michael Jordan or whatever the case may be, you can be obsessed. There's plenty of people that made it to a high level, albeit a vice president, executive, whatever the case may be, I'm saying, and they wasn't necessarily obsessed by the situation. They were locked in and focused, but they weren't necessarily obsessed.
Name three.
Name three what?
Name three people that's at a high level that wasn't obsessed with their craft.
One that come to mind was Ocho Cinco.
What do you mean?
Ocho Cinco was one of the top wide receivers in the league, and he ate McDonald's every day. Didn't really care about his body, you know what I'm saying? Didn't really work out every single day. His work ethic wasn't necessarily there. Another one I'll tell you about is Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was one of the greatest scorers in the NBA there ever was in the NBA. And he'll tell you himself, you know what I'm saying, that he wasn't the best workout person, or, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't the best when it comes to taking care of your body, eating the right things, having a strict diet like LeBron James did. He wasn't the best at that. When you watch the documentary where they talk about the USA Dream Team, you had Kobe. Kobe was a level above everybody else. Kobe was up there 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when they was coming home from the club. Kobe was in the gym working out. Now here it is. You have a whole squad that was going out, celebrating, enjoying themselves. You know what I'm saying? Having a great time. We're going to enjoy this other country. We're going to enjoy Paris or wherever it was they was at. You know what I'm saying? And Kobe was the only one on a whole Olympic squad that actually was working out in the morning. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, a couple of those ended up joining him, but everybody, if you watch that documentary, Kobe was just at a different level. Now, is it to say that you're not successful because you made it to an Olympic team? Yes, I would say that's success. But going out to the club, do I consider that being obsessed by the game of basketball? No, it's not. But you're still successful. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying, when you just talk about naming some examples, those are just a few right there.
Right. So I think what happened, I think the miscommunication is your definition of obsessed. Obsessed doesn't mean that you can't go to the club. Obsession means that you are hyper focused on your goal, meaning that you this is what you want to do, and everything revolves around making this come flesh, making this a reality, making this. I disagree with you on Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco. First of all, I don't think you understand. You can Google this. Ocho Cinco has a contract with McDonald's. He owns a couple of McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? On the slick. You know what I mean?
But you know what I'm saying, he owns some McDonald's, but
Right.
again, you know
That's
what I'm saying,
why
there's other football players that own franchises too.
I didn't interrupt.
They don't eat that every day. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but
LeBron James owns some franchises too. You know what I'm saying, but he don't eat it every day.
Yeah, but my point is, I think it's capped that he eat every day. I think he does eat McDonald's, but I'm not with them. I suspect that was promotion. Is my part, to promote McDonald's. That is my argument on that. I don't know. We never with the. You can't say for sure that he eats McDonald's every day because you're not with them every day. I think it's cap. We could agree to disagree on that part. I think it's promotion.
Okay.
But Ocho Cinco is masterful at what he does. He was masterful at route running. He wasn't one of the greatest as far as wide receiver, but he is masterful at marketing. And that's what he does. He's a master of branding and marketing. And motion. That's what Ocho Cinco does. So his shortcomings as a ball player, he made up for as being a master of branding and marketing. That's what he's great at. So, and then he does that every day. He's on nightcap every day. He's already rich. So you saying that's not obsessed? I think it is. As far as who was the second one? Gilbert. I don't know much about Gilbert Arenas, so I can't comment on that. But as far as Kobe, of course, Kobe is a step above everybody, the Mamba. But all those guys were all stars. Most of them on the NBA team. So just to get to the NBA, of course, you've been dribbling the ball since you was 5 years old, 3 years old, and you don't get to the NBA by just being 6'7". You should know that you have to have some vested interest in your craft in order to get to that, perform at that high level. There's no NBA like, all right, I just throw me a ball in my hand and I'm in the NBA. Nah, they busting their ass, they practicing. Now there's degrees. Some want to be great, and some of them want to just make that paper. But even to get to that level, you have to be a dog. There is no dogs. There is no puppies. That's non-professional. That's professional athletes. Let's get that straight. To make the league, you got to be a dog. But now there's levels of dogs. There's German Shepherds and there's Chihuahuas, but nonetheless, you're a dog. I challenge you. Me for sure. I challenge me. Get anybody. Get the 12 men on a roster. I guarantee he'll wax most people.
Okay, so when you talk about making it to that level there, you know what I'm saying, you have to understand a lot of that stuff is predicated on potential. You're not there yet, but we see the potential in you that you can bring about. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. Do you know how many number one picks that ended up, you know what I'm saying, leaving the league within 5 years? Just because of potential, you know what I'm saying? They saw the potential in this person or whatever the case may be. Either the work ethic wasn't there, or they weren't mentally tough in order to actually be in that position. And again, it goes back to work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not in the gym every single day, you're putting in the hours as some of the greats have done, then you know what I'm saying, you're not going to necessarily be able to reap the rewards. You're not going to necessarily be able to get the same output because it's all about what you put into it. So again, you know what I'm saying, like the level of success, yes, we can agree on that. There's level of success. But to say the lowest person on a totem pole, just because they were given the God-given ability, they were given the gift to be able to dump, to catch a football, dribble a basketball, put it in the hole. Their work ethic may not be like somebody else, but they still made it to the NBA.
So if by your logic, then everybody would be in the NBA and the NFL. They have to have something that separates the undrafted player from the number one draft pick.
Skills.
Right. It's skill. And those skills don't happen through osmosis.
They don't?
Nah. So you come out the womb catching a 50-yard bomb. Knock it off.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You had to practice. You had to practice your craft, and you had to get. Hold on. Let me finish my. You had to get exceptionally. You had to get exceptionally good and skilled at your craft in order to be in a conversation. I'm sorry, you just don't come out the womb and dunk a basketball. If that's the case, all of us will be good at it.
There are plenty of social media videos, with basketball players, football players, 4, 5, 3 years old, running track, whatever the case may be. You think they came out the womb putting 12 hours of work in per day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Those are just natural born athletes. And you play football. You know good and well, you know what I'm saying? There were just some guys like, man, he fuck around all the time. But you know what I'm saying? God damn, when he get out there on the field, he gonna show up. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't in the gym. He ain't the first man in practice. He ain't the last man to lead practice. But you know what I'm saying? He good at what he do. What if it's a quarterback, wide receiver, whatever the case may be. We've all been on the team where, you know what I'm saying, we had those guys that just didn't take it seriously because they were given the God-given gift of just being able to play this sport or being a natural athlete. That's just what it is. I'm saying, I'm not saying you get to sit and be a couch potato, but you ain't got to put in the same effort as Kobe in order to be.
I get the effort. I get that. That's different, but you can't tell me they didn't take it serious. Everybody on the team that I met that was serious about that made the team that actually played. Because if so, we'd have ran them out of there. We don't want you around. So I don't know what type of teams you were on. If you wasn't serious about balling, you wouldn't be around us. We'll run you off. So you wouldn't even make the team. So those, I've had plenty of guys that I was cool with, big dudes. And we had, I played offensive line, so I know a couple of big cats. Even my cousin, like we used to call him big for nothing. Man, you big for nothing. So we try to get them to try out. And those people that didn't take it serious, they didn't make the team. So just to make the team, you have to have a level of seriousness in order just to be around us. So everybody had the same dream. Everybody wanted to play. You know what I mean? So I never seen anybody. I've seen plenty of big dudes that, tall dudes. I got another cousin that's tall. My other cousin 6'6". Can't play a lick of basketball. A lick. You know what I mean? So you can't. And his dad is a professional athlete. My uncle was a professional athlete. So that he can't, man. He's uncoordinated. You know what I mean? It just ain't in him. Now he got a mean hustle, but he just, you know what I mean? But he can't play a lick of ball. So you can't say it's genetic. Now, genetic, you might have the tools, but that, you have to have some type of seriousness, and you have to have some type of skills and develop some type of skills to get to a certain level. I don't believe people just walk off the street and catch bombs. No, sir. Or catch alley-oops. Boom. Nah. Now, you know what I'm saying? Just the playbook alone in college and in the NFL and NBA is on a different level. Just to read that. I noticed that when I got we didn't have a playbook in high school. You know what I'm saying? We ran it. All right, we ran a certain amount of plays and we memorized it. We had probably like 15, 20 plays.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In high school. Shit, when you get to college, you get a book about that big.
And you got to memorize all of it.
You got to memorize all of it. This is another level. If you're not serious about that, you ain't going to make it. You can't miss me with that. I ain't feeling you on that. Miss me on that. Let's go to the next one. So you can talk that to somebody who ain't played ball.
You know it's true, but you're going to try to prove a point. So you know what I'm saying? You don't want to react. You don't want to face reality. But that's okay.
Nah, everybody
I'm used to you doing that, B. So you know what I'm saying? We're just going to let it roll. We're going to agree to disagree on that. You know what I'm saying?
I've had people that's naturally talented.
No, it's natural talent all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But you just refuse to see it. Refuse to admit it. I put it that way.
We had plenty of people that came that tried to play the ball as neighborhood superstars around the way, but they can't play team sports. You know that. We had plenty of cats, even with basketball. We had cats that was cold on the concrete, Shit, but they can't follow no rules. They can't. They don't. Just that alone, the discipline alone, to follow a system. Somebody barking at you, they can't take it.
It's the attitude. They don't like the structure of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So yeah,
it's those that don't like authority.
Yeah. So I've seen plenty of cats. My boy Troy, like, you know, he could have went to the league. He just can't. He just can't stay out the streets. So if you were serious about ball, we run you off. You know what I'm saying? We'll run them out of there. Like, nah, everybody in our locker room, that's why we, you know, wanted to play ball. And they were serious about it.
Mm.
You know?
We talk about college.
Talk about college too. Like, everybody was serious about college, you know, if they made the team. Now they had some bums and stuff like that, you know, and they'll get cut, ran off. I mean, that's my experience.
I was at a D1 SEC school, B,
right.
and played ball with a whole bunch of cats that was at D1 schools elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody take it serious, right. But yet they got a scholarship.
Well,
but you ain't gonna admit that.
To what extent? They have to take it serious to pop up at 6:30 for the meetings. They have to take it serious enough to pop
that's
up.
Just because they have to. That's just because they have to. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna show. It's gonna show. If you're not serious, you're gonna be late for meetings. You're gonna get cut. You can't fake that for years like that.
Yeah, but just because you show up so you don't get cut doesn't mean you're serious about it. I'm just showing up so I don't get fined. My point is, it's a level. That's it.
There's a level of seriousness, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay. It's all levels. It's like, you know, there's level of seriousness where I'm taking it like Kobe serious, or I'm taking it serious to where, all right, I can use this to pay for my education.
Yep.
You know, but either way, it's serious. You can just say fuck it and make it on no college team or no NBA team. I'm sorry. Those type of people, those what they call it, loose cannons, they don't make it. They don't make it. Yeah, so you got to take it serious. Now, levels of serious, that's a different story. You know.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
This is how much I made owning a Subway franchise at the age of 23, and this is without me working. And what I mean by without me working, I actually have visited 3 different countries in the last 30 days and left my Subway unmanned by me. I left it up to my manager, and let's see how that affected my profits and what does that mean for the numbers that are actually going into my pocket. Let's get it. So for the gross revenue, and keep in mind, this is the number that Subway is going to take their royalty off of, was $34,898.42. Now, after all the coupons, all the discounts, all the third-party DoorDash fees, Uber fees, all that stuff, it's $30,831.40. So for my cost of goods, it was $8,487.69, which is phenomenal. That put me at about 27% of how much I made. So my labor was $5,993.28. This put me at about 19%, which is probably the lowest that I've been in the last couple of weeks. I mean, I honestly can't even tell you why. Actually, I can't tell you why. I'll tell you why at the end of the video. But it's at 19%. So my royalty payment for this month was $4,362.30. And then my rent, if you remember the last couple videos, my rent used to be $3,000, but now it is $3,100. And then for I use Butterfly. It's not the traditional electricity, but it's more eco-friendly, that type of deal. It's $800 that I set aside for the month. For extra miscellaneous things like things people break, knives, tape, just like little stuff that I have to buy from the store, I set aside $100 a week, $400 for the whole month. And then for my Comcast, the internet, the phone, all that good stuff, it's $174.57. And for my insurance, it was $303.80. And then for the loan payment for my future remodel, I set aside $1,400 a month. So how much I made in the month of May was $6,288.13, which is probably the most that I made in a month without really working. And that is attributed to, I had a huge catering order that I had months ago. So if you're an OG viewer and you remember from my other videos, it was a super big catering order for this office building up in Atlanta, $6,000 passively, if you will. I can't complain about it. Everybody else, you know, that's in my comments, they can make money, you know, other ways. It's just the way that I make money for myself. So I appreciate everybody for tuning into my video. Leave comments, any questions, how I was able to do this. And if you're a current entrepreneur or somebody that's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, I have a free entrepreneur community that you can join. The link is going to be down below, where we show you how to fix your credit, how to get business funding, how I was able to fund all of this, and how you can do this for yourself. So if you're interested, hit the link down below, and I will see you inside. Peace. So,
man, I wish my little brother talked like that.
I know.
You know what I mean? So
I'm not quite sure how he was able to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it doesn't even really matter. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It is tough to get young people focused enough to bet on themselves the same way this gentleman bet on himself. And now he gets to reap the rewards from it time and time again, month after month. I'd be curious to know what his numbers are, you know what I'm saying, if he didn't have that big catering order. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, as long as you in the green, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And then he has built a true business that he doesn't have, that doesn't need him in order to run itself. The fact that he's able to take vacations and do all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, and the business is still able to run and still able to make him money, says a lot about what he's doing. So I think, you know what I'm saying, this is a prime example that, you know what I'm saying, you know, franchises may be the way to go. I mean, you know what I'm saying, franchises is one way to do a business. I think the way to decrease your risk, just because a lot of the infrastructure and a lot of the technology and all that other stuff is already worked out for you. You don't have to figure that stuff out. You don't have to trial and error it, lose money and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure it out. You already have a franchise that's going to hand you the game plan. All you got to do is execute it, or put somebody else in place to execute it like this young man did. So I got nothing but applause for the young man, you know what I'm saying, and I see a bright future ahead. I don't see just this one Subway. I think eventually he's probably going to expand either into some other Subways or maybe some other businesses or whatever. But this is one of those stories I love to see.
Right. I mean, there was a story, man. I shout out to my boy Sean, one of my mentees, man. He told me this story this morning. We had chopped it up. One of my mentees, he's on the way to becoming a multi-millionaire. Cat I trained and mentored. He just purchased. He was on the show a while back too. He purchased, not purchased another 2 franchises of Stretch Labs. But he was telling me about. And this is a good segue from last week, kind of piggyback on what we were talking about last week as far as delayed gratification. He was telling me about a video. There's a study that was done of 40 kids, and they had they gave each one of them a cookie, and they told the kids, "Hey, listen, you can either eat the cookie right now, or in 30 minutes you'll get 3 more cookies." You know, so about 20 of them ate the cookie right away, and then the other 20 like waited the 30 minutes and got like the 4 cookies. Like, you know, you got 3 more cookies. And then they followed these kids for like the next 20 years, 25 years. And then the ones that ate the cookie right away, you know, were like convicts, drug addicts. A lot of them had, you know, dead-end jobs. A lot of them kind of failed in life. The ones that delayed the gratification, a lot of them were CEOs, business owners. They're like top of their class. So like, it's funny how the business, how the brain works as far as the business mind. You know, it's that delayed gratification. Most kids his age, 23, not even thinking about a franchise, thinking about down the way, thinking about, hey, I set up this asset, then I could go on this vacation and go visit 3 countries and still make money. They'll take the money and go get a car and then try to impress. We were talking about trying to impress women because they try to look rich real quick. Instead of taking the money, putting it in an asset, and then now he get that passive income. He ain't even got to be there to make 6 G's, and then that time he could double and triple up because I could do something else. I had that 6 coming in. I could go make 10 somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I got the option, but you don't do that unless you have that set up already. Most people don't think like that. They want that now. I want the cookie now.
Yeah.
And that cookie now leads to a lot of bad decisions. You know, and that's what we were talking about last week as far as delayed gratification. That's what organic was talking about instead of fapping. Instead of reaching over getting that phone. Nah, I gotta get on the top of my game. Let me go out. Let me meet somebody, and then I gotta work to earn that dopamine hit. You know, and that teaches you to how to get how this thing works. As far as this commenting further, man, I love to see people that get it that early in life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna visit this cat in probably 5 years. He's gonna be multi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are creatures of our own energy, like I was saying last week. People that's in these dead end jobs and they broke the paycheck to paycheck. It's your own fault. It's your own fault. You know, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You can't blame the system. You can't blame the man. You can't blame Trump. You can't blame the economy. Everybody, all the blame still ain't gonna change nothing.
So they gonna, yep.
Still gonna be the same thing. So it's until you fix your mind, that's why they call it broke. Why they call it broke? You know, it's called it broke because your mind is broken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't say this is a young kid look like us. You know, he making it. Wow, is he better? There's opportunity. Why? There's opportunity. He's not. Hey man, the police, man. I come from the hood, man. I see the hood. You don't hear none of that.
None of that at all.
You know, man. The band to keep me down. See, you know, all that other stuff that sound like excuses to me. You know.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and hit this next one. Again, no particular order.
That's why you got girls wanting to be boys and boys wanting to be girls, because our women are confusing us with wanting to be like us. Damn! Not only are they confusing us as men, they're confusing our sons and our daughters. Because they looking for mama to be mama, but mama competing with daddy to try to be like daddy in actions. And in spirit, and in thought. Act like a lady, but think like a man. It's impossible because your thinking determines and dictates your actions. Your thinking determines and dictates your actions. How can a woman think like a man, but act like a lady?
I already know what the women are going to say to this. They're going to say, well,
what them women talking about? Nigga, we talking man talk. Can't no coming here and chime in locker room talk. We don't give a damn what them hoes say. They can't understand what we talking. This locker room talk. Them hoes can't dig this. So that's why you got
that boy Charleston one. You know,
one of a kind, babe.
He likes. To me, I think he's similar, not as far as his tactics, but as far as how he able to master that algorithm, that motion. You know, What is his talent besides running his mouth?
He know how to get viral now.
You know how to get viral. You know what I'm saying? That's a talent within itself. He know, and he getting paid. He getting what? You know, what are you getting? $5,000-$6,000 just to get on the show and flew out and all that. You know, just to talk, you know, talk crazy for an hour.
If not more than that.
Yeah, if not more than that. You know, so shit, that ain't a bad gig, man. You know, I sit down, we do this, and I get a paid in advance 5-6 G's. I can do that. You know,
all day. Hey, look, all day. I just travel from all around the country, just doing the same thing.
So that's all he does. He's going to go get the booking fee, get paid half up front, half when he show up. You know what I mean? And all they doing is using his motion. Everybody paying them so they can get that viral clip so they can boost their subscribers.
Absolutely.
That's all he doing. And he goes jumping from platform to platform.
And he understands that. He's getting paid well for it.
He capitalized on that shit, you know, because you're only hot for a moment. I'm hoping he's taking that bread and putting it into something else. You know, so taking that because you're only gonna be hot for a second.
Yeah.
You know, till they get tuned out. You know what I mean? So take that money while you're hot, ditch it into something else, and never look back.
Look, I ain't got much to say on that one. We all know how Charleston White get down.
Huh?
I said we all know how Charleston White get down. You know what I'm saying? Whether you agree with it or not, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna open up your ears to hear what he got to say.
Right. Well, just to comment on what he said, I do think we confused as you know. I do think it starts like that energy is people think. I know Steve Harvey started with that think like a man thing. I think it confused a lot of things. I think it's part of the problem that what we going right now is, you know, as far as the being promiscuous and the whole nine. I think is part of the problem. I think it's putting in the workforce and trying to compete. That nurturing is gone. Like a lot of that nurturing is gone because we too, you know, rough, you know, or resentment. You know, the competition. You kind of remind me of your daddy, so I still lightweight resent you. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's all going on. That dynamic is all there, and it adds to the dysfunction. I think. So I think he's spot on with it. You know, so. But I'm going next one. This is a little bit funny one. I don't know why I got this one, but this is hella funny. You know, I don't know if I should play it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it because if you watching us this long, you deserve a little bit of laugh.
We good? All right, just making sure. Bow, 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 bow. Hello. Good day. Serious, I'm finna get up out of here before your man come, okay? Eat up in that, man. That's why she out there playing with the food, because he ain't got no goddamn food up in here. Shit don't make no sense. What the fuck? Oh, yo, man. Your girl invited me over, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing. Oh, what you want to do, nigga? What you want to do? These keys, nigga. These keys, nigga. Play that bitch. Play that bitch. Play. Oh, hell no. Get back, bro. Get back. Get back, dog. Bitch. What you want to do? What you... Bitch! Felicia, get your ass up! Felicia! Put your leg in there. Put your leg just like that. Ooh, shit. I gotta hurry get up out of this. Hold your damn hand steady. Alright, there you go. Gun was in your hand. You got mad at this motherfucker. Okay, squares. Alright, get more of them squares. Alright. Alright. Little square in the bed. And then, you sure your boyfriend not coming home, huh? We good?
I wonder what game that is, man.
Hey, look, it looked like it might be the new edition of Grand Theft Auto. Because it looked like some stuff that they'll come up with on there. But they out of pocket for that one.
Yeah, they made it too realistic, man. You know, I mean, you saw, yeah, that's crazy. I know. Last Grand Theft Auto I played was San Andreas.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago, man. That had to be at least when that San Andreas dropped. What? 08, 9?
That shit, don't give me the line. It was a long time ago.
But
I believe that might have been the last one I played.
Yeah, that's man. These video games nowadays take up too much time. Like, we go as polar opposite. I get what he doing. He using. Let's talk about this. He using if you like the game, he monetizes on it. So he making it like his skit cool, like he adding the commentary to it and then streaming it on Twitch and on, and that get the eyeballs, and then he monetizes on that. Cool, I get that, but just don't play video games for the sake of playing video games. You see what I'm saying? So same thing with these young cats that were from that Airbnb video. You like to turn up, you like to, be around the honeys, you like to chase, make a business out of it.
Right. Don't be doing it just to be doing
it. Don't be doing it just to be doing it. Make the paper out of it. So good. You like to play video games? Cool. Get on that stream, use your comedy, your little ad-libs and all that. Get the eyeball, because that show was funny.
Are you saying that's what he was doing it for?
That's what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
So this is I went on, I did a little research on his page. See, he got like 89,000 subscribers now. So he building it up, but it should be it'd be funny. He got another one where he was in a bar, and like a dude, he was singing to a broad, and like a dude kind of was heckling, and he started fighting with the dude. It's funny, the way he, what I'm saying, the way he doing it, his way he
do it, what I'm saying, maybe with the commentary and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do that, that's why I say this young generation is creativity. All right, if you lazy, make money within your laziness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you never could do that before. You couldn't, who'd have thought in the 50s, man, I sit there and play video. I sit in front of the TV, play video games, simulating people pay me to laugh at me and stuff.
Yeah.
And we used to dig ditches and had to clock in and out. Now you could sit in the AC and play a game and make, a whole bunch of money. They say T-Pain get paid like 60. T-Pain and T-Pain and T Grizzly, they get paid $65.
Yeah.
Play video games online.
He I saw the interview clip that went viral, you know what I'm saying, where he talked about that. He was just like, man, it's hard to get me to go on tour now when I can make that sitting in my living room in my drawers, you know what I'm saying, playing a video game.
Right.
And then you want me to do all this traveling and I gotta go deal with airports and all this other stuff.
Right.
These cats making some money. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? You got Kai Cenat and got big.
Right.
They got big out of nowhere, just streaming. You know what I'm saying? Just going crazy on the streams.
Right. Right.
And that's people watching.
So it's a gift and a curse. If you good at it, keep doing your thing. But the problem is people that I don't see it as a business plan long term, because I think AI is gonna be to where there's AI people right now, and I'm about to play this clip next, to where it's gonna replace y'all. So if you get it right now, keep on doing it. But I wouldn't say it's a long-term business plan. I wouldn't say next year I'm gonna graduate and then I'm gonna be a streamer. I think that's a bad, unless you just naturally, I don't say naturally, unless you're putting in the hours right now and taking it serious in order to be a good streamer. Because some people luck up, but most of the time they don't. Let's go to run this next clip.
Most of the time it's a slow grind.
Most of the time
you gotta stick with it.
So, but people want to do this viral, instant gratification thing.
Just made $7 million in one day. These AI avatars sold products to 13 million viewers without a single human being present on the stream. This isn't science fiction anymore. Luo Yonghao, a famous Chinese seller, created an AI version of himself that hosted a 6-hour shopping live stream. The avatar looked real, sounded real, and sold like crazy. The technology behind this is mind-blowing. Baidu pre-generated 8,000 different gestures, so the avatar could move naturally. They also fed it 13,000 product descriptions for perfect sales accuracy. But here's what makes this terrifying. The AI avatars were taking live questions from viewers and responding in real time. People were buying from robots thinking they were humans. This live stream made more money than most of Luo's human streams. $7.6 million in 6 hours proves that AI can sell better than people when it has the right data. We're watching the birth of digital salespeople who never get tired, never make mistakes, and can work 24/7. The future of commerce just got very weird. 2 fake people just made $7 million in one day.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, y'all boys, you gotta get it together.
7 million while you sleep? Come on, man.
Man, hey, that technology, think about it. We couldn't fathom. we couldn't fathom getting somewhere without a horse 100 years ago, right? Well,
Yep.
you know, a little bit over 100 years ago. Horse is obsolete. We couldn't imagine even, you know, communicating with somebody across the world without paying a long distance bill in my lifetime, right?
And that's crazy.
We couldn't imagine like talking to somebody face to face video. That was on science, but that was Star Trek type stuff. That's common. You got that. You got that. I FaceTime my daughter then every day. That's common. So it's not that for a stretch that in our lifetime, AI gonna be doing everything. So they don't get tired. They don't make mistakes. They don't need breaks. It's coming.
You got to catch up, or even get left, or either get left behind.
And you got to put this in your business plans. If you got a business plan and you thinking it's 1990, or you thinking a common logic like how it's always been, you're missing out. You better take in consideration AI. You know
AI's taking over, you know what I'm saying? Taking over more and more stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing is just going to become, how do I use it? How do I help it to, you know what I'm saying? How do I get it to benefit my business? And if you're not asking that question now, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be behind the 8 ball once it really starts rolling.
Right.
Because while everybody else is trying to figure it out now, and they're trying to implement that into their business, once they get rolling, it's going to be too late for you to try to figure that out. Trying to figure that out and then implement that into your business. Better get ahead of the curve now.
Right. So, man, but I'm trying to tell you, they had another one that went viral too. They had a guy that created an AI. He said it took him 2-3 hours to create this AI OnlyFans, and he made like a whole bunch of money. So the porn actresses and all that stuff, man, that's about to go bye-bye.
That's crazy.
You know, shit, it's about to go. You know, everything gonna be artificial. You know, when I rented out this room and I was moving from Houston, I got this. You know, put my stuff in storage temporarily for about a month or so. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There was nobody in the storage. It was a kiosk.
So you check the storage out through a kiosk.
Through a kiosk. Came in there, boom, you know what I'm saying? You did everything on the little touch screen. Boom, boom, boom. So you want to lock? Yes, boom. And then it almost like a vending machine. Boom. Came down, the lock came out.
Come on.
Yeah. Then I think I picked up something and I needed help. And then shit, a video screen popped up. You know, so it looked like some chick in a call center.
Come on.
Yeah, so it was no people in there.
They saving on labor charge.
Yeah, like shit.
But now there's less and less jobs where you need people.
Yeah, this is public storage. The orange boy, you know what I'm saying? There was nobody in there.
Damn, that's tough.
So the unskilled laborers, y'all better wake up. The McDonald's workers, you know.
Because you know McDonald's cooking up something.
Yeah.
You already know they're cooking up something.
I can stay over 24/7. I get robots. I ain't got to do no slip and falls. I ain't got to worry about nobody spitting in my food.
I ain't got to worry about no mistakes.
No mistakes. Man, they better, hey, it's coming.
Maybe pay one person to sit in there, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure nothing goes awry. But outside of that, you know what I'm saying, 6 to 8 people back there, you know what I'm saying, one on a fry, the other one on taking orders, and one doing this and one doing that, you know what I'm saying, all that's gone. All that's going to be gone.
I'm surprised they still got the cashiers at grocery stores. I know they got the self-checkout. They're trying to hybrid it out, but they should have, like they said, that one person could watch everything, and you got the conveyor belt, boop, 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 and knock that thing out, self-checkout.
They got, I think they, you know what I'm saying, they still had because Walmart went to that for a second. They went to just straight self-checkouts, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of the older people had big time problem. So you know what I'm saying? Now they had to go back to a hybrid version until they're able to figure out how to simplify it even more. And then they're gonna go back to self-service.
Right. Because it's less drama. You know, and Keisha can't, get along with, Tanya, and they fighting at work, all that's gone.
Bottom line is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get more profit and less overhead, you know what I'm saying, the less people I gotta hire.
Right. So
That's
AI don't get sick.
Nah.
You know what I mean? AI don't call off from work. So I mean, y'all better step it up, man. You better step it up quick. We go ahead and run this next one.
You think that men kind of drive women crazy a little bit? Stop it. Stop it.
Well, no, men drive bitches and hoes crazy. Nothing drives a woman crazy because she's governed by her dignity and her grace and her principles and her morals. So no matter what a man does, a woman will always remain a woman. A girl won't. A bitch won't, a whore won't, a prostitute won't, but a woman, nothing gets a woman off her balance. Nothing. So no, a man doesn't drive a woman crazy. Typically, when a man does a woman bad, he drives her to her religion. He drives her to her belief system. No. She would start going to church. She would become celibate. She would stop having interaction with other men. Normally when a woman gets done wrong, she don't run to men for healing.
Where's the what's the word I'm looking for?
Where's the man's accountability? Typically where your religion is where your beliefs, your values, and your morals, and where your right standing lies. Right? But when you get done wrong, you don't run to do wrong. You run to do right. Meaning when a woman gets her heart broken, she goes and fixes her heart. So she don't involve herself with other men. She don't take time getting back at the man because she got to fix her. We already know a man's going to be a man. And what do men typically do? Break a woman's heart. That's been traditional. So why are we trying to change this? So the woman never got worse because she got her heart broken. She always gotten better because she's been done wrong. And the man always sees the woman gets better and realize I fucked up and realize I messed up and something changes about him so he don't do this. So normally the woman keeps elevating and makes the man elevate even though he's wrong.
So we're always on top.
It's always been like that. Because that's always been the balance of the flawed man, the good woman.
Well, you're saying that women push progress.
Well, when you look at the whole reason on why God gave man a woman was to motivate him to be a better person. That's the whole design of a woman, is to bring out you to be a better man, to conquer the beast in you.
You don't think that men kind of drive?
All right.
What you got?
I mean, what Charleston's saying, you got to define what he's saying. So he just said it at first. I know you're going to skip over that part, but he said there's a difference between the bitch in the hoes, prostitutes, and the woman. And the Bible say, when a man finds a wife, he finds it a good thing. Not a broad, not a ratchet. Just because you have a female genitalia don't make you a woman. So my opinion that a lot of females nowadays are not, that woman thing is kind of gone. It's getting more and more rare, even with Western culture. So yeah, I would. What he's saying, you got to be very careful what he's saying. Just because, again, let me say it again, in case you just because you have female parts, don't make you a woman. And the same thing with a man. Just because you have a male part doesn't mean you're a man. We're talking about very specific things. So yeah, she can enhance your life. This is supposed to be a help me. That's what it is. I am the head. You're supposed to be a help me. There's not supposed to be no even thing. It's to enhance, not to bring down, not for you to take care of. And I be your slave. That ain't happening. That ain't what this is. So Can a woman enhance you? Yeah, possibly. It's possible. But not all females are women, and most of them designed to be a drain instead of being a plus. And especially, it's more about me. What can you do for me? Go ahead, take care of go ahead, take care of these bad decisions that I made. It's your fault. So
the situation, you know what I'm saying, is I think, you know what I'm saying, some of what he says has a valid point, but I think some of what he said doesn't have a valid point. I think, you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with a good woman, I think when a man does her wrong, you know what I'm saying, she doesn't automatically turn to the church, turn to celibacy, turn to whatever case may be. There's a reason why they come up with a term that, you know what I'm saying, he turned a good woman bad. That term just didn't come out of thin air. It came out of the simple fact where, you know what I'm saying, you had a woman that did all those things, you know what I'm saying, and then because she was done wrong once, twice, three times, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, she became a bit of somebody, you know what I'm saying, that wanted revenge, either wanted to better herself or, you know what I'm saying, put the next man through trials and tribulations that she experienced in the last relationship. So the other part that he said where, you know what I'm saying, he feels, you know what I'm saying, if a man does a woman wrong, you know what I'm saying, he reflects on that and then he actually becomes a better man. I don't think that happens in every single case. I think you're dealing with some guys that think they're men, but they're really little boys, and they have no remorse for what they do to women. They actually figure it to be comical, you know what I'm saying, when they do these things to women. So when these women get mad and upset, you know what I'm saying, yeah, they know they did them wrong, but they're on to the next one. They don't feel any remorse. They don't feel any regret. They don't feel any guilt by it. It's just who they are to the core. You know what I'm saying? They just have no love for a woman. Albeit, you know what I'm saying, if they didn't have a great relationship with their mom, grandma, or whoever, or women in the past, or whatever the case may be, they're just rotten to the core. So, you know what I'm saying, the simple fact that a woman feels bad that you done her wrong, I don't think necessarily changes the mindset of a man. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, like I say, whether you like what Charleston White says or don't, you know what I'm saying, the one thing he's going to do is he's going to make you think and process different situations and how those different situations play out. He does a great job, whether you agree with what he's saying or not. Me and a buddy of mine, you know what I'm saying, that had several topics based upon what Charleston White videos have said, albeit whether we agree on it or we don't agree on it. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of brings about deeper thoughts. But in this video, in this situation, I think he's on target with a lot of stuff, but I think he's off target as well too.
I think this is the issue. I think it's what's wrong and what is defined by society as wrong. So I think a lot of times you got to look at the grid, the foundation. In our culture, having multiple women wasn't wrong. It just recently became wrong in Western society. But it always was our nature, for the alpha men, the kings to have multiple wives, the top guys to have multiple wives. That's always how it's been for tens of thousands of years before this recent couple of 100 years phenomenon. This one man, one wife, which has been, that's a man-made law. Even biblical times, Solomon had 700 wives and concubines. You know what I mean? So it's not nothing, and he was one of the favorites of God.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say it's morally wrong. That's subjective. So, but they recently passed it and became wrong lawfully within the last couple of 100 years. So, with that being said, I think if it's understood from the get-go and y'all have an understanding, then a lot of that will taper off. I think what happens is when men try to play both sides, they try to pretend like they're this in order to get the woman when you're really this. I think if you're really this, say you're this from the get-go, and that's where the heartbreak comes in, from the betrayal. Because you told me that you were this, and then I find out you're this. and that's where the heartbreak comes in. So I think, and again, it goes back to men being lazy. Don't try to cut corners. I know she got check all the boxes, but does she know the real you?
Right.
So check all the boxes. She checks all your boxes, but let her know the real you up front, and let her make the decision on whether she wants to deal with it. That's what separates the men from the boys. That's why a lot of boys cut corners. And I ain't gonna tell her that. I'm gonna try to sneak. I want both. I want the laziness, getting her because I got her, but I don't want to really tell her I'm still, that you ain't enough. No matter how good you can be, I'm still gonna chase some cheeks. So to let them know up front. Occasionally, hey, I like variety, and let her make the decision if she want to deal with it. You gotta let her, you gotta let her make that decision. I think that's the problem. We don't plan it out before you get into. I think both parties should know the real them.
Right.
Good, the bad, the ugly.
Which should be the case, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't always the situation. Because you know what I'm saying, in the men's eyes, you know what I'm saying, we already know the outcome before we even go there. So then therefore, you know what I'm saying, let me shield it at least long enough until I get what I need. Right. And then, you know what I'm saying, if it comes out, then it doesn't matter to me at that point. Because you know what I'm saying, I've already been came, saw, and conquered.
Well, that's the problem. And that's the problem. And that's the problem in a nutshell.
Well, 100%.
So 100%. It's not being upfront. It's not being straightforward. It's not being 100. That's all. Which
in most cases, you know what I'm saying, well, I wouldn't say most cases, but you know what I'm saying, in some cases, you know what I'm saying, when you're upfront about the situation, you know what I'm saying, it's more acceptable. Right. They're just like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you for letting me know the situation, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is.
Let her deal. If she chooses to deal with it from there, it's no betrayal.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? And then if she does get to the point where she changed feelings on the situation,
not on her.
You know what I'm saying? It's correct. It's a different type of anger versus you telling me, nah, babe, you the one. You the one. And knowing she ain't the one.
Right. A lot of us be lying. Why are you lying? I have no other eyes but for you and all that stuff. All the east-west stuff in our generation, the number one thing. And I give you the sun, the moon, the star. I can't give you that. That ain't mine for the give you. So let's be upfront. This is what I can do. This is what I offer. This is what I come to the table with.
This is what it is.
This is what it is. Either you rocking with my groove or you're not.
Or not, right. Absolutely.
And then that's the problem. You got to be able to let it go. All right, next. If that one-on-one deal, rock with your groove, go to the next one. That might want to rock with your groove, but you won't be so lazy. And now I got to grab this one. Whatever I got to do to grab onto this one, even though it's gonna come tumbling down because you only can hide for so long.
Yep.
For the real you come out.
Yep.
And so that's the thing. It's like that ain't really being a man, though, in my opinion. Because a man gonna stand on business. Let me stand on business. First of all, let me set the pace. We're not gonna go into this thing with lies. This is who I am. Occasionally, I don't want to say every time, all the time, but occasionally, I might like to sprinkle something in there.
I need to add a little different season.
A Lowry's in there or something.
Look, I might want Larry this time. I might want Tony Sanchez next time. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, understand.
I'm gonna be all the way real. It ain't gonna be all the time.
Yeah. But
occasionally, you know what I mean? And this is the thing. This is the thing. I think this is, we cheat with our resources. Like you said, a man gonna be a man. If I'm paying for her lifestyle and I'm taking those resources from the family, I think that's cheating. But me, if I'm just smashing, that ain't cheating, really. I mean, to me, you know what I mean?
If you doing that and you're in a committed relationship,
well, if she understand, this is how I would have mine.
Okay.
Look, I'm not giving no other. If you the one that you got the last name, you getting all the resources.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if I occasionally sprinkle something out, first of all, if you it's gonna be together. If you ain't with together, it's gonna be separate. But
You can get on board or get left by the train, but it's limitation.
However, ain't gonna be no paying no bills and secretive and all that. You gonna know.
Yeah.
You know, and what it was, and they're gonna understand what it was. It ain't gonna happen. I think, you know, and then you could choose to deal with it or you could pass.
Yeah.
You know, but I think my opinion, and that's the way in my house, I'm the king, right? My king, you know, your house is your castle, right?
Correct.
That's how I run my kingdom. I mean, you could choose to be with it or be not with it. I mean, that's just is what it is, and that's the way I'm gonna run it. That's the only way I think how to fly. I don't want to build a kingdom around lies.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That's how it's going to end up tumbling.
That's how it's going to end up tumbling. Look, the strong foundation. All right, you said you with it. All right, we're gonna test that theory before we, you know.
We gonna see.
We're gonna see. You know what I mean? So let me go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scam. Since I bought this apartment here in Da Nang, Vietnam, my friends back in America keep asking me the same question. Why would I leave my $900,000 dream home in Miami to live in a $92,000 apartment in Da Nang, Vietnam? I achieved what most people would consider the American dream, came from the bottom and made it all the way to the top, only to realize that it was all a complete scam. I started to realize that every house you buy, you just locked yourself into another 30 years in the rat race. Then every year they raise the taxes and insurance like crazy. And then when you get paid, they take the taxes out of your paycheck. Then you go to the store to buy some food. You gotta pay taxes again. And say you wanna invest it in the stock market and make some money. You pull it out, you get taxed again. Same if you flip a house. Then you wanna drive your car. Then on your car every year you gotta renew the tags. And you gotta pay the toll fees on the road. And then even after you pay off your house, you're gonna be paying an insane amount of property taxes. You're gonna be paying a high insurance premium. And then if something happens like the hurricane that happened in Naples and your house gets destroyed, insurance companies are just gonna bail out of town anyway, and you're never gonna see any of that money. You're just in an endless loop of taxation for the rest of your life. So I came to visit Vietnam and fell in love with this country. The quality of life, the people, the food, the amount of things I do and the fun I have in 1 week here is like 6 months back home. It's just an amazing way to live here. So when I bought this apartment in Vietnam, I paid it off up front, so I don't have any bills for the next 100 years. I actually feel free for the first time in my life. I had that house sitting there with nobody living in it for the last 3 years while I've been going back and forth to Vietnam. I finally decided to rent it out and make the move permanently. And the people that I worked with here getting this apartment designed, the different contractors I used to get all the custom furniture made, to design the bathrooms, remodel the kitchen, and build an island, to the real estate agent who walked me through the whole process step by step, where we had a safe and smooth transaction. Everything was more professional and on point than any renovation that I've ever done. And I've done a lot of them. My house back in Miami, the contractors were almost 4 months late on delivering the final product. Here in Vietnam, they gave me a calendar showing me everything that was going to be getting done on every day of the week. And they finished 3 weeks earlier than the scheduled delivery date. So these are just a few small little reasons why I left and chose Da Nang, Vietnam. There's so many more. And also, the Digital Nomad Starter Guide is now available. This is a step-by-step.
I mean, that's a hell of an infomercial, man. I mean, it's just probably, you know, I'm looking in the near future. I never considered Vietnam. I looked at Thailand, I looked at a couple other spots, but might have to look at Vietnam in the future. But shoot, $100,000. Don't forget, we know one of the only countries that got that tax in perpetuity like that, and they itching to take it from you. So everywhere else, I won't say everywhere else, but a lot of other spots, once you pay that thing off, that thing yours forever.
Yeah.
You know, so you ain't got no more bills besides utilities. You know, so that property tax, ooh-wee. You know, and then you talking about HOAs, you know, you in an apartment complex like that, you got that HOAs in perpetuity. You know, so I wonder how that is. I'm gonna do more research on that, how that is out there with that HOA. You know, so, but I told you, my cousin out there in Guyana, man, he losing weight. He lost like, down to 100 pounds, and he eating good, everything cheap, It's the quality of life is a lot better. I think this is how the United States used to be a while back. Like, man, I can remember my lifetime. I call a contractor, they get on that thing.
Yeah.
Shit, try that now. It's been damn near 8 months now. I've been in the new crib and shit. I'm still working on getting I just got the drains done for the kennels just like last week, not a week before last. It's like, man, it's to get people stop. You got to find them, disappear. It's crazy, man. Like, nobody want to work right now. Then they charging sky high astronomical prices.
Yep.
Dude said they gave him a schedule and they finished 3 weeks early.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that pride is still in the job, man. That's gone. We lost all that.
It's a lot of that too has to do with, I'm saying, some of the principles and integrity of these other countries as well too. So it's a lot that goes into it. I'd be curious to hear more about, I'm saying, what the pros and cons of what you have to deal with out there in another country. But, my biased opinion ain't nothing like USA.
I don't know
about even though they tax the hell out you, I'm saying, it just, I'm saying, because it's different strokes, different folks. I just, I'm saying, being a big family man, I just can't see leaving up and rooting, and I'm saying leaving and going to another country and being able to live there and not being able to kind of spend time with the family.
Right. I got you're a different situation. You were rooted like in the US, but I think it's a lot of propaganda. Like you said, it's a scam. We're there's a lot of propaganda that's going on. We're the greatest country. Yeah, we got a lot of freedoms and stuff like that, but I'm simple. A lot of stuff that we got here, they got everywhere else. Like, they want to think. They have the perception that every other country is uncivilized. That's not true. A lot of the roads are cleaner, infrastructure is better. They want to. Oh, you're gonna have roving blackouts and all that stuff. That's not true. Some countries like that, but most are not. Like some of them, technology is way past it. You go like some of the Asian countries, the technology is weaponized.
Right.
So they got everything more technological, sound, and the infrastructure is better. There's no potholes, cleaner air. I'm talking about I'm not trying to club and all that stuff. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about not spending a whole lot of money just to do the basic stuff. Eat, sleep, socialize a little bit, go and kick it, enjoy the water or something like that, and make some money. Why we get taxed to do that? I think you said that a while back, maybe like a year ago, conversation. Like, man, anywhere you go. No, I think that was my boy Brandon said that, man. The other boy, Brandon Dunbar, shout out to him. He said, man, either way you go, you leave the house, it's gonna be a dub in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, you leave the house, it's a dub.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah. On top, it's a dub.
Look, unless you driving around the block and coming back home.
Right.
Look, unless it's that. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's at least a dub, regardless of what you do. Man. In some cases, I'd say it's, hide in the dub if you leave the house, especially if you're talking about going out to eat or going out or an event or something. You're out of there. It's at least a hundo. You know what I'm saying? If you plan on going out, any activity, I don't care what it is, bowling, movies, whatever, it's at least a hundo.
Right, exactly. So eating, and you got a family. I know it's probably $1.50 to feed everybody.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So you do that 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean?
Adds up fast.
Now you see why I was single. Shit, at least, for me, it's going to be about 25, 30, for one person. But shit, you got about 4, 5 or whatever. Shit, you got you need an extra person, like an extra, you know what I'm saying?
You need a hustle just for the food bill.
For the food bill, man. Shit. Like I said, then they said and then to answer your question, they got these channels that's dedicated to, like, they blog. Zoom, shout out to my boy Zoom from Thailand. He one of them. He's blogging out there in Pattaya, Thailand. And he turned into like a travel guide out there. So he vlog his experience and how much meals cost and how much he break it down and show you like, all right, I'm on the streets and show you how it real like a lot of things people don't understand. That's another thing that's a misconception. Now you go to Africa somewhere, that's something different. You might disappear, but you're talking about in Asia somewhere, a lot of them Buddhists. So there ain't no crime out there. You know what I'm saying? So you go to some of the country like when some of them like 90% Buddhists. So there ain't no crime out there like that, and then the penalties is what deter the crime. Because you get some of you get like still like that cane, you get caned and you get that, so boys they commit no crimes like that.
Man, look, and it's funny that you speak of Africa, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just having a conversation with somebody that was from Africa, you know what I'm saying? It was this maybe last month or something like that. And they were talking about, man, a lot of that stuff that propaganda that you see on TV is nothing like that over there. Right. One of the safest countries you'll ever go to, one of the most beautiful countries that you ever go to, and it's cost effective.
Right. Well, Africa's a continent. What country are you talking about in Africa?
Well, I can't remember what country they said. You know what I'm saying? All I can tell you that they was in Africa. Right. That's why I said that. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, but shit, where my people from, like on my dad's side, shit, it depends on where you at. Some of them territories, shit, you don't want to go in there, you ain't gonna come back. Now, if you say, if you take a wrong turn somewhere, then the police gonna be on their side. Like, everything's bribable. So this depends on where you at. Like they got some safe spots, some tourist spots. Yeah, some of the spots you don't want to go.
Facts, but I think that's anywhere though. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's the thing. That's the difference. So, depends on where you at. Like a lot of countries, and I don't want to say stereotype. A lot of countries, period. I want to just say in Africa.
Okay.
A lot of them countries, the police can be bribed, and there ain't no law.
It's more political heavy, which I get that.
Yeah. So, but some of these countries, that's why I do heavy research. I'm not gonna live nowhere that I just head first. That's why when I was telling you as far as vacation, when I retire at 55, that's why I'm gonna check it out. If I like it, I'm gonna stay a couple more weeks. I'm gonna really soak up the land. I'm gonna go there 2-3 times before I decide to, like the dude said it from Miami. I've been there 3-4. My house was empty while until I decided to come out there permanent. I'm gonna spend go out there a few times before I decide, all right, now this is it. This right here. I'm gonna really soak up the land, and I need that time to do that. I don't just want to be. You can't do that in one day, one weekend. This is it. Nah, I'm gonna go soak up the land, do regular stuff. Take Ubers and stuff. Get lost and all that. I want to make, and then I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna take probably like a year or so before I decide. Well, all right, this is gonna be this is where I'm gonna die at.
You got to understand what you're getting yourself into, the lay of the land, everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna do that just by researching and watching people docu-series. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna do my education. I'm gonna narrow it down. I ain't gonna just do like they did on Coming to America. The land is so vast. Where you gonna go? All right, just spin the globe and just point. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna do my research. I think the United States, it got too expensive. It's a great country. Don't get me wrong. I'm a patriot. Don't forget it. But however, I think they got behind as far as the corporations running this thing with all the chemicals that we ingest in. I just think it got out of hand. It's more profit over principle now. So they keep putting all this in the food. We dying early and earlier. The healthcare. That's what I say when I almost kicked the bucket like 2-3 years ago. I was really seeing the healthcare. They look, man, this ain't where you want to be. So I think there's a reason why the Asian folks live into like 90 and we live into 70. Something's up with that. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna check it out.
Go for it. Report. Make sure you report back to us. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how it is, B.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna sprinkle some vacations here and there, but like I said, when I'm done like with my working tools, like I said, I'm gonna really. Hey, I'm gonna go and spend the money. I'm really enjoying. I'm gonna go and spend the money out here and not miss a beat.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a month. I mean, and boom, boom, really, soak it up, and then and weigh all my options.
Right.
And then shit, I'm gonna, kick back. Not really kick back. I'm still gonna work. Like I said, digital nomad. But I like the option. I don't think we confined this to the United States anymore. It's a global thing.
It is, which I'm saying. I especially think, people expand their minds when it comes to retirement. I'm saying?
Right.
Just like people, are actually picking certain parts of the country to go live in when they get ready to retire just because it's more cost effective. I think now people are not limiting themselves to just certain parts of the US. They're actually expanding throughout the world. Because there's plenty of people that decided to move down to South America. Just because there are spots down there that it's a little bit more cost effective to live. Your dollar can stretch a long way. Social Security can stretch a longer way. And then, they just pay for flights to come back. And it still ends up being cheaper than, being able to live in the U.S. So,
right. I don't know if you did that. And another thing I'm looking at too is that I don't know if you ever did your Social Security like projection.
Mm-mm.
Like mine, like $4,000. So that won't get me much when I'm in the next, what is gonna be like 20 years when I retire, whatever. That ain't gonna be much, but shit, somewhere else it might be a lot. So
it ain't gonna be much. Huh? Especially, I said it's not going to be much, and especially when you think about the way the dollar is losing value, and the way that Social Security is not keeping up with the inflation, of the actual economy. We all gonna be in trouble.
Well, but that's going by U.S. standards, but don't forget that Social Security gonna hit direct deposit.
Correct. So yeah, that's by U.S. standards. Now if
so I go somewhere else.
You go to another country, you can make it stretch. You could probably live like a king. Matter of fact, you showed a video a couple of episodes ago where that they had the two VA guys. That was in some country. I forget where they was at. Was able to live like kings.
Right, and that's my point. I got that coming in. I'm take my investments, buy the house. All right, I ain't got no property tax. Shit, I live like king. And I ain't really gotta push it.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? But you go by U.S. standards, you're gonna be, trying to stretch it to the 31st, trying to stretch it to the 30th. Why do that? For what? What we got here that's so amazing. You know what I mean? I get it. Yeah. You got 24-hour Taco Bell, cool. But shit, I'd rather the fresh fruit.
Now they got 24-hour Taco Bells all over the country. They got 24-hour McDonald's all over the country. So
but all over the world, really.
Yeah, well, not all over the country, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Right. Burger King all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't really missing that. And in most cases, you know what I'm saying, those in other countries is healthier than they are here.
Exactly.
So you're gonna be able to live alone.
A lot of stuff that's outlawed over there is still legal here. So what am I missing? My point is, shit, I go somewhere else, better scenery. You know what I'm saying? The people chill. I ain't got to worry about getting robbed. I ain't got to worry about YNs, pranksters, and stuff like that.
But I think it's a natural human thing, you know what I'm saying, where people are creatures of habit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, I've been in it. Like, you know what I'm saying, not just confining it to people to the US. You got some people, you know what I'm saying, in areas of Houston that refuse to leave those areas. You know what I'm saying? Let alone trying to expand their mind to other parts of the country or other parts of the world.
Man, I'm not tired. The technology is different when you had to write somebody. You know what I'm saying? I could whip out this phone and I could FaceTime you as if I'm talking to you right here. Yeah. And then I really miss you like that. I could just hop a flight.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be hard to watch them grandbabies games.
Not really. Yeah. Not really. Yeah, not with the technology.
It ain't the same as streaming versus being there.
Right. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it all folds out. We're gonna see. But shit, well, my daughter decided the time of tickets. She got on about 7 years.
The biological clock ticket, you know what I'm saying? Look.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something, we're gonna see in the next few. That's about the time I'm gonna retire too.
So hey, look, that's gonna be the determining factor if you stay or go.
It might be one of them. It might be one of them. So we're gonna see.
I got you.
We're gonna see how it go. I mean, I give you two things before we go to the next clip. Shit, a woman I know from Chicago. She's down in Panama. She living it up. My aunt retired. She went to South Africa. She living it up. She built a dream home. You know what I mean? So it's we got to think global, man. Well, everybody don't have to think. Everybody do what they want, but
you need a wardrobe for when you have no money? Why do you have 16 fucking shirts and 19 sneakers and 11 different pairs of pants and fucking 9 handbags when you have no fucking money? I'm gonna say this slow and I'm gonna say it hard. Almost everybody I know on earth spends too much money on dumb shit, even if they think they're financially disciplined. We have gotten into the era of believing luxuries have become necessities. Who said that we were entitled to be cozy at all times? What happened to being comfortable with being uncomfortable? The new definition of uncomfortable is some bullshit. People out here crying like their life sucks and went to a concert on Saturday night and drank a $19 beer. You fucking dick faces? Come on, we have completely lost our way. We don't need shit. The fuck do you need a wardrobe for when you have no money?
Love listening to Gary Vee. Love listening to Gary Vee.
Right. I'll let you go ahead.
Gary Vee is one of those, you know what I'm saying, that deliver the hard truths of the situation. But the thing that I like about Gary Vee is that his delivery is so passionate that you almost have to take heed. You know what I'm saying? You have to take notice to what exactly he's saying. Now, you know what I'm saying, if some people actually follow through with it, is a completely different scenario, completely different story. Right. But I love the way, you know what I'm saying, Gary Vee actually talks, you know what I'm saying, and breaks down knowledge that people actually need. But 100% what he's saying makes sense. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying, we have ourselves in situations where we shouldn't be trying to get these luxuries, you know what I'm saying, these Gucci purses, these Louis Vuitton bags and Louis Vuitton clothes and all this other stuff. But because we have become we're living in an era where, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to be so socially acceptable, that's our goalpost. Like, our goalpost is not to get off Section 8. Our goalpost is not to own our own home. Our goalpost is not to own our own car, you know what I'm saying, or own a car that doesn't break down every other day. Our goal is to make sure that we fly. We have as many chains as possible. We have the biggest diamonds as possible. We have the most amount of depreciating things as possible in our repertoire, you know what I'm saying, just to try to make us feel good for 5 minutes. And then, you know what I'm saying, we can't keep the lights on, can't keep the water on. Kids can't get the school clothes that they need just because, you know what I'm saying, we're spending it on stupid and frivolous stuff. So I think he hit home, you know what I'm saying, on a lot of stuff that he's saying, you know what I'm saying, and we can expound. I mean, literally, us being in the financial industry, you know what I'm saying, and looking at people's finances, we can literally talk about stories all damn day when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? When we're looking at people trying to buy a house and they ain't got a pot to piss in a window to throw it out of, and they make great money. It's just, you know what I'm saying, they don't know what to do with that money, or they do stupid stuff with that money.
Well, it ties back to the last week's show. Like, it's comfort over uncomfortable. You know, we entitled to being, like he said, cozy. Like, you know, it's you know, people talking stuff about the job that they hate and stuff like that and all this stuff, and they deserve, pay us more, pay us what we deserve and all this stuff here, and they privy to be making this type of money. You know, it's you know, people want more and more and want to work less and less. I don't get it, you know. So I remember, like, back in the days, my grandmother used to have didn't have a dryer. There was a clothesline. You know, I don't know if you remember those things. You ever had a clothesline?
I've seen a clothesline.
Yeah, now we had a clothesline when I was a kid. She didn't have a dryer, you know, so she had there's these things, these what's the name of it? These, like, lynch pin, these pins, right? And you know, they're made out of wood.
You clip the clothes onto them.
Put the clothes onto it.
Yep.
And you know, so you got drawers and everything. Your drawers out there and everything in the wind. You come out, you smelling like outside, off the rip.
Yep.
You know, so He had to dry those in the wind. You know, so that's how she used to, you know, she was a housewife. My grandmother never worked. She was a housewife. Scrub the floors, you know, scrub the concrete, you know, make sure, you know, the oil, you know, my grandfather's truck had to scrub that off the concrete and all that stuff. Cut grass, the whole nine. You know what I mean? So we spoiled on Uber Eats. You know,
spoiled on a whole bunch of stuff.
You know, so, and then like I said, they don't even. We get to the cheesecake. Don't even want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. That's too. It's gotten out of hand.
It's beneath us.
It's beneath us. I can't go to the Cheesecake Factory. You know, going out to us when I was a kid was Jim Dandy's. I know that was before your time. I know you don't remember no Jim Dandy's. That was before Popeyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to Google that Jim Dandy's.
Now, was Jim Dandy? Now, here's the thing, though. You know what I'm saying? Was even though it was back then, was Jim Dandy's a Louisiana thing or was that a Texas thing?
I don't know. I got to Google that, but I know we had them. We had that Jim Dandy. That was going out to eat for us, Jim Dandy's.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I got on my phone. I got one of them old Popeyes menus I found somewhere, and you can get a 24-piece from Popeyes back in the days for $10.99. You could feed the whole family with sides and everything. You know, $10. You could feed the whole family. You know,
hey, look, they used to have the burgers and fries for $10, for $5-6.
Right. Nah, they had the 2 for $2 when I was a kid. 2 for $2. You know, so you could. Fast food used to be cheap. Everything was cheap. Everything was cheap back then, man. But I'm saying that to say this. My original point was that we've gotten so far removed. Stuff's gotten so high, and I think it's a societal thing. You go to a different country, they're not. I guarantee you're not going to see a bunch of Asian folks with Gucci Louis down this walking the street. Mm-hmm. You know, we wear that because of societal pressures to look cool and stuff like that. You don't want nobody judging you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So, nah, man. I don't even value that stuff anymore. Like, I want to dress regular, eat good food, not be poisoned by the chemicals, and have some good air to breathe.
That's it.
And somebody ain't trying to break in your house or go to a store where they ain't trying to do pranks.
You know, it's funny because you know what I'm saying, you when you walk into a social gathering of some sort, and you look around, you know what I'm saying, when you're young, you start to think of, you know what I'm saying, the person that has the most shiny objects is the richest person in the room. But then as you start to get older, you start to understand, you know what I'm saying, it's the person that, you know, got the flip-flops and you know, a regular shirt from Goodwill or whatever the case may be, that got the most amount of money in the room than anybody else in there. So you know what I'm saying, I think you start to kind of reshape your perception of what rich really is, right, as you start to get older. But you know what I'm saying, you know, when you're young, you just think, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, I just want to flash these stacks of cash, flash these diamonds, this jewelry, and all this other stuff, because you figure that's what you need to be socially acceptable. But it actually is not. It's not getting you any further. It's just putting you further in debt.
Gotcha. Well, damn, I looked at it. I still got a couple. So let me run through these real quick, man. I gotta
go for it.
I forgot I had this many.
A scam. Yeah. And the top of the food chain says there's an opportunity here. I just don't quite understand it.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, though. Are poor people wrong for calling everything a scam? They're being scammed. So naturally, if I'm in a position and I am being scammed because everything around me is set up for me to fail, unless I'm educated or somebody says, hey man, you got to stop going there. You got to start going over here. When people go over here, they move differently. I came up in the fucking hood. If you look in the hood, you hear about it. There's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're gonna get a check, they're gonna cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. So you're gonna get your check and you're gonna buy this liquor, and then you're not gonna have no more money. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out.
Poor people call everything a scam.
Great point. Great point. It's a different thing that's depending on the side of the coin that you're on. If you're on a business owner side of the coin, you know what I'm saying, you definitely want to have these things, these vices, as we call them, these vices in areas where, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's where they're going to excel, because that is the culture. That is what excels. So I do think, you know what I'm saying, it's a cycle, and you have to get outside that cycle. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, these people in those type of cultures and situations, their only experiences and what they've gone through is just based upon what's right there. If they've never gotten out of that area or that experience in order to experience and learn more, as Kevin Hart put it, you know what I'm saying, they're not. So it goes back to the whole cliche where it says, you know what I'm saying, if you know better, you'll do better. But I don't think, you know what I'm saying, when people limit themselves to their environment, you're not necessarily learning to do better. Like when you get around the right people and the right people say, you know what I'm saying, you don't need to be here, you need to be there in order to be able to expand and get further. Then, you know what I'm saying, until then, you're just going to continue the same cycle because you don't know any better. It's just what you know.
Right. Right. Well, that's what we were just kind of talking about as far as you know, the not expanding your horizons. Like, you know, some people are stuck in Houston, some people are stuck in their environment, and they want to, I don't know if it's like comfort or whatever, but don't want to escape their comfort zone. You know, and that's where you know, getting outside of the things that are the norm is where you learn and where you stretch yourself out, where you get the experience. You know, and then you won't know any better until you actually see and do better. Like until I got around rich folks, I didn't know how they think. I couldn't understand how they operate. Until you got around successful people, you didn't know how successful people operate. And if you're around all of the negativity and the self-doubt and the victimhood and the sabotage, that's all you're gonna know. That's the only thing that you know how to function. You know, you think that's what it is. So until you get around other folks, you know, that's when you start expanding. So it's like, I think it's an environment till you start getting out there. Like I said, until I started traveling, getting out of, you know, I'm from Louisiana, so until I started getting out of Louisiana and going other places, went to college in different places and stuff like that, I was like, damn, they've got a whole nother. People live totally different than we live. You know, it don't have to be like this. Till I started dating outside of the neighborhood chicks and start dating outside, you know, like, damn, this house, you know, the treatment is different.
Correct.
You know, so you got to expand your horizons. You know, have your standards. Of course, I have my standards, same things I won't do. And however, you gotta, if there's a better way, you can't block yourself out of at least exploring the way, exploring different ways than you think that you know of.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you see the fruit of other people doing. All right, this is what you did. Cool. Let me get them. You know, let me explore that.
Correct.
You know,
here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, but back then, you know what I'm saying, you know, people had a better excuse than they have now.
Right.
And just because, you know what I'm saying, back then the resources and you don't know. You just don't know, you know what I'm saying, because you know what I'm saying, you're only limited to the people around you, you know what I'm saying, or your environment. But now, you know, resources have become so easily accessible. Like, you know what I'm saying, anything that you want to learn about somebody, what they're doing, or other experiences or whatever the case may be, you can easily pull up your phone and go to YouTube.
Right.
And YouTube has everything for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily have to be in Thailand. in order to understand, you know what I'm saying, what's happening there, what's going on there. I can easily hop on my YouTube and watch videos and understand what they're doing. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying, necessarily read a book, read this 100 or 200 page book to understand how somebody got out of your environment and then changed their life, and then now they're a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you no longer have to read a book, regardless whether you struggle to read, you can't read, don't like to read, whatever the case may be. There's plenty of videos out there, plenty of articles, whatever the case may be. The resources available, easily accessible now, you know what I'm saying, is less of an excuse now than it was back then for you to have that, like, oh, look, well, you know what I'm saying, I've never been outside of Third Ward, you know, I've never been outside of South Park of Houston, you know what I'm saying? Like, you no longer have those excuses. If you want to do better, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing that's stopping you.
Gotcha. Let's hit this next one, because again, I got about 4 or 5 more, man. After this, let's just keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. I want to go ahead and empty the clip.
Go ahead.
Spend major time with minor people. People doing nothing want you to do nothing with them. People going nowhere want you to go nowhere with them. If you're earning $50,000 a year, take inventory of your 5 closest friends. That's about what they're earning. And you're not going to earn a penny more until you start hanging out with people that are earning $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. Because you see, there's a system for everything in the world. So if you're making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, but really desire to earn $100,000 a year, well, then you have to hang out with people who are earning $100,000 a year and copy their system. But if you took inventory of your 5 closest friends, you could find out what they're earning. They're earning about what you're earning. They have about as much education as you have. So you have to fix that. Don't spend major time with minor people. People doing nothing want you.
Yeah.
Goes back to what we're talking about. Just,
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, kind of lined up.
Circle influence. But here's the thing where, you know what I'm saying, where you have to understand, you know what I'm saying, just kind of changing the not that you necessarily have to get rid of your circle of friends, but you have to have another circle.
Right.
There's two different people in life. There's leaders and followers. Just unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, the world is built up of a bunch of followers. And what those followers are, you know what I'm saying, is that I can't generate enough momentum and challenge within myself to want to do better. If I'm making 50 grand a year, you know what I'm saying, and everybody next to me is making 50 grand a year, or maybe even 55 grand a year, we're all around the same place, I'm comfortable. The one thing that gets in the way, you know what I'm saying, of a great life is a good life. When people are good, everybody's eating, the lights are on, the family's fed, everybody's good, you know what I'm saying? We can go on vacations once a year, whatever the case may be. Nobody has the ambition to do better until you get around other people that are doing a lot better than you are. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, now they have the carrot. They're setting the pace for the race. Now, you know what I'm saying, you get to the point where, look, I'm not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? I need to figure out what they're doing in order for me to do more. It's an unfortunate situation, but unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, it's just the human nature of just a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that's dealing with, you know, inner circle. Like, hey, look, as long as everybody else comfortable, I'm right there with them. Everybody's good. No ambition to do more until you get around that circle of people that is doing more. Now, all of a sudden, you start to think, okay, well, I'm not doing enough. Let me try to do more. Let me figure out how I can do more. Then you do more. But, you know what I'm saying, it's not to say one is better than the other. You could be a leader, you could be a follower. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if you want more for your life, you need to get around a better circle of people. And then if you need that to set the pace for you, by all means, you know what I'm saying, you understand what you need, go for it.
It's called homeostasis. The environment has a tendency, especially in organisms, to stabilize itself. So if you're around a bunch of people that's 50,000 your peers, you're gonna kind of stabilize yourself. You don't really see one $100,000 person that stands out. Maybe once in a while, but most of the time they're gonna be right around the same thing. You don't see a millionaire hanging around with all his friends are workers. They hang around other millionaires, So it's either, I say this all the time, either they're gonna bring you down or you're gonna bring them up. But the environment has the the tendency to stabilize itself. Not going to kind of stay the same. So there's going to be an eyeball out, you know. So that's why, again, like I just said, till I got around money, I didn't understand money. I didn't understand the mind frame. I didn't understand the mindset, and it's a different mindset than what I came up on. And you know, part of this next one, I'm going to the next one real quick, is this man right here. You know, and the reason I got mom on the wall right there is because, like I said, he willed himself into the conversation. He was the one that I didn't have all the physical attributes, even though my dad played ball. I didn't just want to be a ball player. I wanted to be the greatest. And he did whatever he needed to do, and he didn't waste no time on trying to get himself in the conversation. You know, so let me run this mama clip right fast. What did I do? All right, here we go.
You read the referee's official handbook to find out where the referees are on the court. Explain this idea.
Well, it's a rule book, and the officials have to be in certain positions. So if you watch a game, you'll see officials sliding in different areas. And so I read it to understand where they need to be in certain moments of time. So if I need to get away with a foul, that ref back there, the slot official's not going to see this little hold right here.
Had any player you know ever done that before?
Not that I know.
I mean, stuff like that, to gain these little advantages and stuff like that, nobody would ever thought of. He was like, this set the pace. You know, instead of working out the bare minimum, get another extra. If I could knock these two work out, I can get an extra. He was the one that did that just to, you know, to outdo himself. His work ethic was probably the meanest, you know what I'm saying, I ever seen. You know, period. I think, you know, only other boy, I don't know if he worked like that full time, but the only person I've seen like that, like Albert Kamara, you know, they had the crazy workouts and a mean work ethic like that. You know, not too many.
Yeah. It seemed like the most simplest thing, you know what I'm saying? But in order to understand the game, you need to understand the rules. Now, you know what I'm saying? He read the rule book to understand, you know what I'm saying, which is part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand, you know what I'm saying, where the referees are going to be so I can get away with certain things. But I also understand the technical rules of the way they have to referee, like what fouls that they have to call, those certain type of things. Those things become valuable to a player. In most cases, you know what I'm saying, people just, you know, they just think about, okay, look, I just dribble and shoot the ball or whatever, pass. I'm only worried about the plays or the structures of the actual team, but nobody goes to understand the actual rules of the game. There's a difference between the coaches that actually approach referees and want to understand, okay, well, you know what I'm saying, what's the mindset behind this call? What's the mindset behind this rule? What's the technical rule on this? There are also some coaches that actually go to referee meetings. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about high school, not NBA, but you know what I'm saying, there's also some coaches that go to referee meetings because as a coach, I need to understand the technical rules that happens, you know what I'm saying, within the game. And most people that play the game, you know what I'm saying, they think that they understand what the rule is, but they don't understand the technical rule of it. So it's an advantage for you as a coach, player, whatever, you know what I'm saying, to understand the way the referees have to referee the game. And it is amazing because, you know what I'm saying, I referee basketball, but you know what I'm saying, it's amazing to me, you know what I'm saying, how many high school varsity coaches that don't understand the rules, the technical rules of the game, the technical rule book rules of the game. The only thing they ever see is, you know what I'm saying, just the major calls, you know what I'm saying, that happen. Okay, you got 3 seconds, it's a traveling, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying. But there's technicalities that go to all that, you know what I'm saying? And there's a value in understanding the rules of the game that can be applied to anything. So long story short, you know what I'm saying, if you want to play the game, it's best for you to understand the rules, even the small nuances of the rule. Therefore, it's going to give you an advantage, which is what it did for Kobe.
Gotcha. Let me run it because I think I got like three more left. So let's go ahead and run these last little 3 and roll up out of here. We had 2 hour where we passed.
Owning the house, free and clear, might be the biggest mistake that you can never make. When I first got in the game, I thought owning the house free and clear was the goal. No mortgage, no problems, right? Wrong. That's when I realized all my money was just sitting there, tied up, doing nothing. I was making a couple hundred a month in rent, but I couldn't make no real moves. I couldn't scale, I couldn't reinvest, I couldn't elevate. It's like having a loaded clip, but never firing a shot. You know, equity is not wealth unless you use it. I started pulling the money out, leveraging it, running big plays, building more houses. Now, my money's working instead of just sleeping inside the walls. Dead equity, don't build empires. Run the play right. Don't let them have your equity sitting in the properties, and when the market drop, you lose all of it. So DM the word equity, learn the game, get part of the team, so you can learn how to get this money out here. 100K play, get in the game. Own the
100%. I think, you know what I'm saying, it's more of an old school thing, you know what I'm saying, you know, in dealing with investors. I think it's an old school mindset where, you know what I'm saying, look, I need these houses and I need to be able to pay them off so that, you know what I'm saying, it just kind of gives me a check. And it's not to say, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't work, but it just depends on your situation. But you know what I'm saying, if you have all this equity stacked up in a house that you can't tap into and you can't expand to other investments, or you have to watch other investments pass you by, then obviously, you know what I'm saying, it's not helping your situation. It's not helping you progress. So 100% what he's saying is absolutely true. There's a cycle of the market. When the market gets bad, you know what I'm saying, you got all this money tied up in the market, tied up in these houses. It's not going to do you any good on being able to take advantage of other deals. When the market is bad is when you're going to make your money. It's when you're going to actually help to increase your actual wealth, because there's going to be a plethora of opportunities, and not all investors are going to be able to take advantage of those. Those that are in a position to be able to take advantage of those are going to make an absolutely killing when the market swings. And it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, because the market is always going to go up and down. So 100% what he's saying is true. Just make sure you have your money in the account, not tied up in the house. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, when opportunities present themselves, you can jump on it. You ain't got to watch it pass you by.
Right. Gotcha. Let's go ahead. I mean, there's really no comment. You already know how I feel about that. I mean, I would say a combination of both. You have something that's paid off. I would say abroad as well, because like I said, this depends on where it's at. It's good to own outright, have no mortgages. It's cool on a retirement plan. I mean, to have a couple that's free and clear. But just to build up your network. But if it's all your money sitting there, I don't think that's a good plan. But if you got a few, it's good to have a couple that might be done. But and you have that potential money that's there. So let it grow.
Ain't got time to be hanging out with people just to be hanging out with people. If you don't bring value in my life, I don't need you. I'm about to do a pop-up at one of my friend's barbershop that does very, very well for himself, and I'm gonna go there to ask him to borrow some money because I got a real estate deal, and I'm gonna see what he says. So come along with me and let's see what he says. So he don't know I'm pulling up on him. I'm gonna ask him to borrow $50,000. I hope he doesn't embarrass me. So let's see what he says. Nah, bro. Yo, did you know I was gonna pop up on you? No. Wait 1 second. Did you know I was popping up on you? Okay, so real quick, I got a deal next week. I need to borrow, this is real shit. I need to borrow $50,000. I'm gonna give you 10% back on your money, but I need it for a week. Will you lend me the money? Seriously, are you gonna lend me the money? Okay, listen, I believe him and I appreciate you. The reason why I had to do this, I was driving, I have my Ferrari outside, so I said, let me drive by. I said, like, people be wasting time having friends, hanging out. People do absolutely nothing for them, but they like to waste time and hang out. And I say, if you ain't got people in your life, family and friends in your life that's not gonna do something for you and be there for you, you're wasting time. So I wanted to test you, because if you told me no, I was gonna tell you I ain't fucking with you no more.
But let me say this though, the reason why I will lend it to him, because I know he's a man of his word too.
too. So he's staying on business too. Was this a real pop-up? I never knew you was coming to this. Thank you so much, Q. I love you, man. I love you, my nigga. I appreciate you, man. Check the people that you keep around you, man. A lot of them are bozos, all right, man? I'll see you on the next one.
I don't know if I believe that was all random.
Huh?
I don't know if I believe that's all random. I get his point, but I don't know. I don't believe that was unscripted. You know what I mean?
I don't know necessarily if it was unscripted or not. You know what I'm saying? I believe the part of me wants to believe, you know what I'm saying, that it is unscripted. He did pull up on him. But here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, is that it probably was a pre-conversation, I guess, if you will. Man, if I popped up on you, asked you to borrow some money, man, what would you say? And then, you know, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if he's a good friend of his, he knows your lifestyle, he knows what you do, he knows the successes that you had, and you pulled up in a Ferrari, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, he understands, you know what I'm saying, you got money, so on and so forth, whatever the case may be. And it's a little bit easier to get a yes on that $50,000 versus this is your first deal. And you walk in and ask your barber, can I get $50,000? So I get what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got friends that's good friends, the man of their word. They just don't have $50,000 laying around. They could be like, here, let me give this to you to go get this deal. And then even if they did have the $50,000, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's your track record to assure me that I'm getting my money back? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, if you're lending your money, everybody's going to look at it like a bank. I'm looking at the person that you are. If you're a man of your word, what kind of situation are you in? If you showing up in a beat up Honda Accord, you know what I'm saying, or Honda Civic, or not even a Honda, or whatever beat up car, you know what I'm saying, not to beat up on Honda, but I'm just saying just a beat up car, whatever the case may be, you're not getting that same quick yes. You're just not. It's the same way the banks look at it. You know what I'm saying? Are you a credit worthy person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to understand more about you before I lend you this money. It's the exact same thing in the situation. His buddy knows him best. His buddy knows the situation. His buddy knows that he has all these deals. He making all this money. Of course, I'm going to give you $50,000 because I know I'm going to get that back. And then plus you're putting it into real estate. I know that's what you do. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I believe it's a little bit of truth to that video, but you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit slanted because it's not telling the whole truth. You're not walking into a friend's house and they're going to give you any kind of money just because you asked for it. Just doesn't make sense.
Right. I mean, I think the point of what he was saying, I don't know if it was scripted or not, but I think the point of what he said is if you ain't got friends on your level, like the previous video, don't be around them. Like, you know, I always said this before. I said this before, and I said it again. Like, I could put 10 millionaires in the room, like, quick, and they'll cut a check. You know, I'm working a deal right now. It might be falling apart because of the NDA, but I'm gonna try to save it in the morning. But I'm putting together a play right now as we speak. We talked about it off air a little bit, but you know, that's because I know somebody, you know, that got the liquid and the capital, and I'm putting it together. You know what I mean? So if you around people that just take and have nothing to offer while you're around them, they don't, you know. My thing, I got friends and homeboys and stuff like that, homeboys and people I grew up with. We cool, but we don't hang no more. I'm not just hanging around here, like, because I understand where you at, and where you at is always where you're gonna be at. You know, so I can't hang, but you know, I wish all the power to you, and you know, and if we come across paths, it's gonna be all love, but shit, it's all about getting better. I'm, you know, moving to better spaces. I got like 2 more. Let's roll these.
Yep.
And that I'm one of the 300,000. So when I came maybe 2 months ago and told y'all that I was unemployed, I'm switching to entrepreneurship, like, I was so focused on what was happening to me, I didn't realize that this was literally happening to 300,000 women, Black women across the country. We've been fooled. We've been bamboozled. We were told, get the degrees, get the education, get the experience, be professional, dress a certain way, talk a certain way, and you'll never be without. You'll be able to climb the ladder. They'll never be able to fire you. And then boom, 300,000 Black women lost their jobs in the last 90 days. It doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with me. I know it's not going to sit right with anyone who listens to this who has any empathy or understanding of what it means to be a Black woman in America. And now we are being targeted. We are being targeted. We have to go into this newly shifted workforce that is minus 300,000 Black women and compete with multiple degrees, with years of experience, with all the professionalism in the world. Now we have to go against mediocrity. Yes. Realization that I'm one of the 300,000.
I'll go ahead on this one first, man. Stop it. Has nothing to do with we always throw the race into it. A lot of government workers lost their job. You know, there is being cuts, you know, and you should have known as well, like we said earlier in the podcast, that it's coming. Technology has replaced. We don't need somebody to sit there and say, guest number 34, come on down, punch you in the computer. Okay, here's your permit. Next. When I could get a kiosk to do what you do, that never get sick, never get tired, never start up office mess. I could get a kiosk to do what you're doing right now for a lot cheaper. So you got these degrees and you got this government job, you know, and I don't know who told you that this was bulletproof, but it's not. Anytime you employ with somebody, it's never, you're not guaranteed, you're not entitled to a job. That's the wrong mind frame as well. It's supposed to be a mutual thing. You get the paycheck, they get the labor, correct? And when they decide not to have the labor, decide to go in another direction, they don't owe you a job. That's where we got the misconception. You know, they don't owe you anything. You decided to trade your time for money. You agreed. It's like we talked about the relationships. It's the same thing with an employer-employee relationship. You agreed to these terms of relationship. In Texas, you know that this is an at-will state. So at any time we decide we don't need your services, that's it. So nobody owes you anything. And it definitely was a target because you was Black. Now, as far as the degrees, that's on you. You spent a lot of them chose family, the sacrifice family and stuff like that, and relationships to pursue these degrees, and thinking that was going to be a game plan when they don't understand it's not. I don't want to say a worthless piece of paper, but it's a piece of paper that this means you're a certified worker. It doesn't teach you how to be financially stable or teach you how to build businesses for the most part. It teaches you how to be a better worker. So I don't know what made you think this degree is a safety net. It's not. You know, so that's on you. You can't blame anybody else. I know she's trying to blame the government. She's trying to blame somebody else. But it's on you, baby girl. It's on you. Nobody else. I'll yield.
I think everybody's running into the same situation and have discovered a long time ago, you know what I'm saying, the whole facade about, you know what I'm saying, all you need to do is go to college and get a degree and then you'll be set for the rest of your life. Like that was proved to be false a long time ago. I think it just depends on the actual circumstance. It's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, that she's gone through the whole layoff. But, you know, I just think, you know what I'm saying, that's just across the board issue, not just with Black women.
Right. You know, they were about to lay off last. I mean, a lot of budgets got cut. It was part of those, you know, and it's about time. I mean, a lot of people I went to Liberty County to pull in permits. They didn't need 2 women in there, you know, and they weren't Black women. They didn't. It would have probably been more effective. You know, they were sitting around talking, listening to music, and I could hear them. You know what I mean? So it could have ran with AI or a kiosk would have ran way more effective. I didn't need them to sign here. Here, print your name right here, sign here. All right, print this up. Here, this is the permit sign here. I need a person for that?
Not at all.
The technology is outrageous. It's like we used to have time messages around a bird's foot and then send it off. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? That's gone. You can't be mad at technology. Yeah, people got this thing right here that they use now. They don't use birds and here you go, a little message, carrier pigeon. That's gone. You know what I'm saying? So why are you mad at that? You know, we found a better way.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need you to sit there and go on internet, go on Instagram half the day, do a little bit of paperwork, eat lunch. You know what I'm saying? Listen to the jam. That's my jam. What I need you to do that for?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Let's end it, man, with this, man. This is the funniest thing. Cam ended on a funny note. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. I heard it, so I'm gonna wait for the reaction. I'm gonna use this restroom while I'm playing it because this one is a couple of minutes long. But this Cam took it to another level on this. I had to end the show with this on a laugh.
So a lot of people was like, "Yo, Cam, what's going on with you and Omar Gunn Jr.?" Here's what happened.
Cast it, like, they no disrespect to nobody. I'm talking about when like Vin Ranger sitting around or Omar Gunn Jr. Y'all niggas sitting around like.
So that's what happened. I called him Omar Gunn Jr. and he's like, "That you calling me out my name? Cuba's the junior. How am I be the junior?" And he made 3 diss records. They wasn't that bad. They was actually pretty good, to be honest with you. But I was like, damn, this nigga's bugging. So when I did my freestyle, I said, please don't mention me with no Omar Gooden. He did another record. Cool. So this while we working on It Is What It Is, Buffer like, Kim, we ain't got time for that, man. We gotta finish. I said, Buffer's right, but I'm on vacation. So I threw up a post the other day like, yo, you a Nickelodeon kid. Stop playing with grown folks. So what do? He do another diss record. So you know me, I got a new way to play with niggas. Pause. Super pause. I'm gonna start booking niggas, cause y'all broke. A lot of niggas is broke. I booked that nigga for $7,500 to do a movie for 3 weeks. He said I didn't. So you know what I did? I booked the nigga to do a movie that's never coming out. Like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, Omar. That movie you flew to Miami for, it ain't no movie coming out. I booked you. And I was laughing at you behind the scenes. I was there. I was sitting there laughing at you. And you know what? Now you're coming on Revolt tonight. Because you signed the paperwork saying I could do whatever with the footage. You thought them niggas was real movie producers? They are real movie producers. But them was my niggas. You was in a room full of niggas that was my niggas. Check it out, y'all. Look at this.
Whole staff. This is the whole staff from when I was shooting. Oh, look, he signed the paperwork. Hold on, let me get in here. He's signing the paperwork. This is meaning I can do whatever I want with this footage I want to do. Sign that paperwork right. You're reading for nothing, stupid. Put your fucking titties back in, nigga. What the fuck you doing with your titties out, nigga? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You're comfortable too. Nigga, mad comfortable. Put your titties away, nigga. I don't know what's wrong with nigga. Oh, look, he's brushing his hair. Look, hold on, let me get back. Oh, hold on, let me get back in. Get the waves right, nigga. Oh, get the curls.
It's just stupid.
Look at this nigga doing push-ups. Look at I got this nigga doing push-ups. Get your ass on the floor and do push-ups, nigga. Nigga really think he in a movie. Do your push-ups, nigga. Yeah, I got you doing push-ups, stupid ass. Look at me.
And that's just behind the scenes. So tonight at 10 p.m. on Revolt is going to be streaming tomorrow. Look at Omar Gunn playing in a movie that's never coming out. Mind you, they all speaking Spanish the whole time. He don't even speak Spanish. They talking about the nigga in Spanish while the movie's going on. So the dialogue is all Spanish and he don't know Spanish. They was talking about you, stupid. Now keep doing another record. I'm going to book you for my goddaughter baby shower. Her shit is in October, and we'll book you to do all the dish records. I'll pay you for that too, because what I'm gonna start doing is paying niggas just to laugh at them. It cost me $3,500 to do everything, to book you, their hotel, your flight, all that shit. It cost me $12,000, $13,000 to go to the NBA game. I just rather laugh at you for $3,500. Be careful. This is my new shit. It's called Book My Ops. So a lot of people is like, yo, Cam.
Yeah, Cam's silly, man.
All right.
Cam's silly.
The pettiness is on an all-time high, man.
All-time high. Book My Ops. That is hilarious.
All right.
But look, when you said Cam, I thought you was talking about the other Cam. I thought you was talking about the football player Cam Newton.
Cam Newton? No, him and Gilly beefing, right? So,
Yeah. He went off on Gilly. That's what I thought you was going. That's the Cam I thought you was talking about.
I'm talking about Cameron, so
yeah.
Nah, man,
Yeah.
I thought this was funny, man. Like I said, you took it to a whole nother level. That could be a show, you know.
Book My Ops.
Yeah, go ahead, book them, have them doing super stuff, and see how far people do for that change. You know, that'll be a nice show. He cooking on something right now. Do whatever you do, like we in real estate. All right, I'm gonna pay you to do the worst loan in history. I'm gonna pay somebody to act like a customer and then torture you for a minute and then record the whole thing.
That's crazy.
You know,
that is funny.
All right, so
yeah, that is a show though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you're gonna keep that thing running, but that will be a funny ass show.
People, it's like a reverse Mr. Beast. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Beast giving, people money for doing, activities.
Just crazy shit. Yeah.
Let's see people I don't like and see what they'll do for some change. You know what I'm saying? Have them doing all kind of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? This is the laugh at them.
Cam. Yeah, that's an original one right there.
That's an original show. Like, let's see how far, people go. Without them knowing, throw some change in their face without them knowing, like a prank, like almost like Ashton Kutcher punk.
Correct.
But you getting some change out of the deal, like all right.
Yeah.
You sign off on everything, and we recording it. Damn, man, we pay you, but damn, we gonna use this. And shit, that's what we was talking about earlier. Like, make it. If that's what you get out of entertainment, shit, make some money out of it. Like you said, you spend $13,000 on the NBA game. Shit, you gonna take that footage and putting on Revolt now.
Correct.
You gonna put that $3,500.
And then it's probably gonna go viral. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get that money back anyway.
Just that little clip right there got me curious. Now I want to tune in tomorrow to see like the rest of it, see what all they do. So shit, that was genius marketing by Cam.
Genius marketing. And he ain't paid number $7,500 for it.
Nah, he paid $3,500.
All right,
he said
I paid him $7,500.
He said he paid him $7,500 for before. He lied on camera and said I ain't gonna work for nothing for $75. So he said, all right, I'm gonna book you for $3,000. And he said with his flight and everything like that to Miami, he cost him $3,500.
Yeah.
So he paid him $3,500 this time. I think he said he paid him $7,500 for a real movie. He said this movie ain't even real. It's just like it's a fake, everything fake. So but he gonna take that and flip that.
The pettiness.
Yeah, but it's ingenious. The reason I clipped it because, like I said, is I think he on to something with that. Because people gonna, because think about it, all the celebrities they got little petty beefs and stuff. I don't like this one. I don't like that. Shit, that's the new version of Punk.
It really is.
Pay us some money.
All at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you want to get viewership for your show. Right. Viewership for what you're doing. Because that way, you know what I'm saying, the money's gonna come right back. Right. What better way to do that, you know what I'm saying, than through a petty beef.
Right. A petty beef. I got some beef with somebody, I'm gonna set him up.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And he gonna put some money in his pocket, he sign off.
And people gonna tune in.
People gonna tune in and see how he get embarrassed. And it fit right into the, Punk was like this your friends did it. And it was nah, this like I don't like him, so I'm gonna set him up. It's like perfect twist for now and today's crowd.
It's the perfect definition of I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Right. So, but that's this new crowd, the trolls. They like to troll. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
So we're gonna see how it turn out. I think this is started. Just like versus became a thing during the pandemic. You know.
Correct.
So I think this is a little. He can have a little run with this real quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Look, he done started something. You know what I'm saying? So now other people gonna be coming up with something similar.
Because everybody have a beef.
Put their own
There's
twist
a new
on.
beef every week. There's a new beef. You see somebody every week. You know.
Yep.
So they get them on the show, and then people gonna be trying to get each other on the show.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So hey, I think this is genius. You know, everybody can make a little bit of money. You know, that's what it's come to. The world's come to. But shoot, man, I'm about to head on at 12:30. We've been there at 2.5 hours, man.
Yes, indeed.
Shoot, we'll see y'all next week, man.
Later.